Okay, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Man with a Mic podcast thing. I have a pickle and a panda today. Hopefully, this is to your liking. I would not like to upset you. If I have, let me know. Today, we will be asking more messy questions that I will be answering with my dusty subscribers. Um, so feel free to click the link. I'll put it in the chat now if you would like to come up and discuss these questions, which are very dusty. And before I even start the video, guys, I'm happy to announce that this video is sponsored by Krispy Kreme Donuts. If you want the fattest, wettest, juiciest donuts you can find, you want a Krispy Kreme donut. Not I'm about to lose my sponsor already. Hello, Lantonette. Hello, Cantor. I'm going to play my intro, guys, and we can get straight into it. You know what? Today is a messy day, right? Today is a messy day. So let me actually play the my messy intro.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude in your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
All right, now we're getting messy like already. I love it. Okay, we have somebody for Pickle Rick. Nobody liked Pickle Rick the last time I brought him on. Nobody liked him. Did you guys like my new intro that I'm going to use for my messy live streams? Hopefully everyone has some wine. I do. I'm going to put the first question in the chat and we may answer it together. Last time I had 10 questions. Today I had 5 because if anyone comes up, though the last time them questions was supposed to take like 5 minutes each. And then we started talking about STDs and etc. So this somber intro. Green tea. Okay. Jamil's in the house. Krispy Kreme are the best. I don't know about that. But these donuts are sponsored, so they are the best. I think I'm legally obligated to say that. The first question, guys, which I'll put in the chat now. You may answer these in the chat or you may come on the screen. While drinking one night, your significant other tells you that they don't love you anymore. The next day, while sober, they say they didn't mean it. Do you believe them? Explain. I like the intro. It doesn't match the mess, though. You don't think so? Should I play my intro again?
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude in your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
I like the intro. It doesn't match the mess, though. Oh, okay. They did not want me to play that again. Let's answer this question, guys. So my parents taught me that a drunk tongue speaks a sober mind. So it is concerning to me that my significant other feels it appropriate to say, let me turn the comments off. I'm not going to look at the chat. Sorry, guys. I'm too easily distracted. It's concerning that they come to me and confess to me that they don't love me while they're drunk. Now, I think it also depends the level of drunk they are. Sometimes you have just sipped on some wine or had a beer or two or a shot. And I don't think that makes you suddenly not capable of expressing yourself or your emotions or how you feel. So in that case, I would think that they're probably telling me something that they really mean. If they are extremely blackout drunk and have no idea what happened the next day, I don't know that I would believe their drunk tongue. I don't know that I would. Hello, Alicia and Grace. I don't think I said hey to Grace yet. But to answer the question, I believe them depending on how drunk they were. If they were very, 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 very like really, really, very, 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 very like really drunk, then maybe. But if they were just had a beer or two and this just slipped out, like it doesn't say they're drunk. It says while drinking one night. That doesn't. It doesn't feel like they're blackout drunk based on the way the question is posed. It seems like they were just having some drinks, and since you're looser when you're drinking, now that thing came out that they may have been hiding while they're sober. I don't believe them. It's the drunk truth. Okay. I okay. They would be blocked the next day. I've always hated the I was drunk excuse. Listen, the reason that I find the I was drunk excuse appropriate is because I have been blackout drunk before and not recalled anything that happened the night prior. And my friend's recollection of the events, I was like, who is that? That's not me. I don't know who that guy is. Hello, Land B. Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you here to answer the question?
Well, I'm gonna believe what they said when they were drunk. It's called the drunken truth for a reason.
You don't care how drunk they are?
Nope.
If they're blackout drunk. Have you ever?
Even if you're blackout drunk, you're just more. It just releases your inhibitions to do what you always want to do.
I have been blackout drunk before. I do not remember what happened the night. I have no recollection of it, besides getting up to go to the bathroom from the dinner table where we were eating in this nice restaurant. My friends told me I got in my chair and yelled out, "I'm better than anyone in this restaurant." Everybody, including y'all at this table. Like I was telling my friends at the table, I'm better than all of y'all. I'm more accomplished than you. I'm janitor too now, by the way. I did get the promotion. I'm more educated than you. I have a GED. They do not. And literally, I'm just beating my chest in this restaurant. And then they said I got off the table, went to the bathroom. When I came back from the bathroom, they were gone. All I remember from that night is me going to the bathroom, coming back, and all my friends were gone. I thought they had abandoned me, like played a sick prank on me. But based on everyone's recollections the next day, they were like, I made a complete ass out of myself. And I have no recollection of that. And there's not this deep feeling in me that I'm better than all my friends. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of my friends are very accomplished, including the ones who were at that table who I got up and said I'm better than. So it's like that is I just got up, did, and said something that is completely out of character for me and that I don't believe.
Are you sure you don't believe that deep, deep, deep down, though?
Yes.
Okay, if you say so.
I have established friends. They don't have to work very hard to outpace me. You guys know my credentials.
Okay, if you say so. But even in the question, it says they're the one who said they didn't mean it. So that means they remember saying it. So, yeah, we're breaking up.
Okay. Hello, Free. A drunk man tells no tales. I'm going to give them a pass if they are blackout drunk and blackout drunk only. Anything else? No. Hello, Kenny. Just because you don't remember, you still did it. Okay, that's true. But I expressed feelings that were not my sober thoughts. Because y'all are talking about a drunk man tells a sober mind, as if this is something that was hidden within me that the drunkenness brought out of me. When in reality, I don't feel like that's the truth at all. So I don't think being drunk excuses actions, but I do think it excuses feelings. Hello, Flowing Water. Good evening, everyone who's just coming in. I'm going to put the question on the screen one more time. I say give them a pass unless it's consistent with past behavior. Look, if they are not drunk, how about this? If they're not like blackout drunk, as I just described, I'd probably be questioning them and take them to my solution for everything is like couples therapy, marriage counseling, or something like that. So if I value my relationship, I'm probably going to go there. even if you say, oh, it wasn't my thoughts. If you weren't blackout drunk, I think it was your thoughts. I think it was. I tell the truth sober. The couple times I've ever blacked out, it was never anything new under the sun. Let me find out y'all drinking. Degenerates. Hey, Tori. Whoops. I didn't mean to put this on screen, but I'll read it anyway. I think alcohol just removes the inhibitions. Look, it's not that I disagree with you. It's that after a certain point, when I say blackout, I don't know if y'all have ever been blackout drunk before or ever seen anyone who's blackout drunk, but I recall literally nothing at all. I don't even know what happened. I don't know that I was coherent. Think about, I don't know, a woman who is blackout drunk at a party, and then someone like Alicia come in. This is not what Alicia is saying. Let me not put words in her mouth. And says, clearly she's, let's say, sleeping with these men at this party because the alcohol has removed her inhibitions, which I think is false. I think generally that's false. So I wouldn't put that on words either. Just like I wouldn't put it on actions, I wouldn't put it on words. Like the actions, I don't think you would do when you're sober. In the words, I don't think you would say when you're sober. Yeah, that fit. Yeah, no, not feeling it.
Liquor courage.
Liquor courage. Hello, concern. I'm here in an arguing mood today. Y'all may come up and argue, and I will just put y'all on mute so I can talk over you. I'm only staying if Prince Petty plays the doodly doo. I'll play it if you spell it right. If you drunk drive and kill someone, you still getting charged. Okay, maybe I am not making myself clear. I agree with this statement, but I don't think that the alcohol just revealed this deep down inside feeling you've had where you've always wanted to drunk drive and kill someone, but you just didn't do it until you got drunk because it removed the inhibitions. I think drunk driving is like a foreign behavior that you would not agree with if you were sober. Never mind. Let me not argue for a man who said this. This was the question, by the way. While drinking one night, your significant other tells you they don't love you anymore. The next day, while sober, they say they didn't mean it. Do you believe them? Explain. I only believe them if they are blackout drunk. If they are anything less than blackout drunk, then I think they were telling the truth. And I'm going to end that question.
Petty, my husband wants to answer the question.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind. She's the baby in the background. So honestly, for me, it's a one-off for me. If you're, especially if you're blackout drunk, it's a one-off. I'm not gonna hold what you said drunk accountable. I've said many tragic things when I was drunk before, and yeah, I was forgiven. Now, did they forget? No, but I was forgiven.
Now, your wife has said if you get blackout drunk and say something like this, she is gone.
Yeah.
All right.
So one day, no, it's like one night we were out. I was out with my homeboys, or one of my friends, and being in the Navy, we had to stay together, and so we out in DC. I'm like, okay, cool. Where's this guy at? He said he's like 6 foot. He's like 6'10". I'm like, he can't be hard to find. So I'm looking for him, right? And Lantonette's like, just leave him alone. Let him be, let him be out there. And I'm like, no, we had to come back together. She's like, Lenny, leave him alone. I was like, no. She's like, Lenny. I said, shut up. And I'm like, oh shit. As soon as I realized what I said, she's like, She walked away. I was like, I'm sorry, my bad. Have I said it since? No, never at all.
So you weren't like blackout drunk. You were maybe tipsy, had a few drinks, maybe a little drunk, but you were still have recollection of the events that happened that day. Or is this like what someone recounted to you after?
No, I remember this verbatim.
So I feel like there's a difference between being drunk, even if you're very drunk, and being to the point where you literally no longer have awareness about what's going on around you.
Talking about like completely like blackout drunk. Don't know how you made it home. You woke up with some, in your bed. And you like, how'd I get here?
Yes, like I don't remember the night. I just remember being in a bush. And then I woke up in my bed, and my friends tell me, "Oh, you walked all the way home, fell in this ditch, landed in a bush, and then got up naked, went home." And I'm like, "Oh, that's where my clothes." Like, have no recollection of the event at all.
Oh yeah. For me, it's a one-off. Like if you're that drunk, it's a one-off for me because again, we say a lot of dumb stuff when we're drunk. We may have some feeling about that, but then we can talk about it later on after you wake up and you recover.
If you tell me you don't know.
Okay. I'm here for we can talk after. I'm not saying I'm gonna get up and leave my my baby. I'm probably going, if I'm still in love with her, I'm probably gonna see what we can do to rekindle, where to spark therapy, something like that. But do you believe what they're saying while they're drunk, assuming they're not blackout drunk?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll talk about it later on. Like, hey, last night you said this. Are you sure about this?
Okay. Alcohol consumption does not prevent self-control. It just makes people care less about the consequences. I agree. Agree. I've said something rude while drunk, sent an entire apology the next day. Didn't remember it, but it didn't absolve me of my actions. That is also true. That is also true. I stand. Alcohol doesn't change your personality. Look, y'all ain't never woke up in a bush and it shows. Concerned, did you want to answer the question as well? Thank you, Land B's husband. Concerned. Okay. Concerned has nothing to say.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yo, like one time, this is only one time, but I always prided myself on having like a strong alcohol tolerance, and I was never a person who tested it, like except for this one time I didn't eat. And I went to my friend's house and they were drinking, but I forgot that I didn't eat. And I'm just a precautious person naturally. So I usually eat before I go. Like if even if I'm not hungry, I will eat before I go anywhere, just because I don't like chaos usually. But I did get blackout drunk once, and apparently like it was a riot, but it hasn't happened after that. I will agree that you really do not know what happened. It's like a gap in your life, which is very scary. But I will say that I agree with most of the messages I'm seeing pulled up, where I wouldn't leave that person, but I would be aware that there's something there that's bothering them, because it didn't come out of nowhere.
I don't know that I agree with the comments, because a lot of them are, when you're drunk, you're doing what you want to do and saying what you want to say. But the reason I brought up the drunk woman earlier is because a lot of men can use that type of rhetoric to their advantage, where they're like, clearly she knew what she wanted. Being drunk doesn't make you unable to not know what's going on, or to kind of minimize their assault. So because I don't believe that, I don't feel like I can now say for someone who's drunk and say they don't love you. Maybe that's a false comparison, which I'd take that critique. But that makes me feel like sometimes when you're drinking, you are legitimately not doing things that you might want to, or saying things that you might not want to say.
I have a few friends who alcohol truly is like poison to them. I think of a lot of things in terms of chemistry. Like my chemical makeup does not change my personality, but I do think that there are some people that alcohol kind of like triggers their depression or triggers whatever they have going on. I've heard of this being the case for people in THC, like where THC will trigger their bipolar disorder or whatever. So I don't know that I'm not a psychologist. I don't know if that counts as a different personality. I know people were talking about personality, or if that triggers. I don't know like what I'm saying that this ultimately means, but I am saying that like I do think that chemically there are people who have a mental sensitivity to certain chemicals in their body. Does that make sense? Like I don't know if it's a wholesale like excuse, but I do have a few friends that have mentioned that it's like if they drink, it's like they're triggered.
I think that's a legitimate excuse. I don't think it's generalizable.
No, it's not generalizable, but I do know that it is that, and I would have to have known that about you before, because it can't all of a sudden come up now, because that's a super hurtful thing to say. You know what I mean? But I do want to say that there are people who like that there are outliers that can have that experience.
Okay. Hello, Free. Thank you, Concern. Kenny said I blacked out on frozen margaritas. They were so good, but I can't do it. It do be them sweet drinks. They sneak up on you. All correct comments on screen. Free, would you like to answer the question as well before we move on to the next one?
So I know for me that when I get drunk, I get really like I don't get tipsy. Like I just get drunk. That's why I don't drink a whole lot. And I'll say like some quirky things because I have a different type of personality. So like for me, I would not, if they were like blackout drunk, I would not hold that against them because especially if it depends on how they said it. Like if they said it in like kind of like a jovial kind of way, like I don't love you no more, and then they're crying and being all hysterical, and it's like I can't even take you seriously like right now. But in a joking kind of way. I'm trying to explain my sense of humor because like that's how my friends are. We say just stupid things, and my husband. Although my husband doesn't understand my sense of humor. So, but if he were to say it, being blackout drunk, I would just like, I know who you are, so I wouldn't hold that against them now.
Okay, thank you. Finally, somebody who came up here and said, "Drinking is drinking, and drunk is drunk." Are you drinking wine? This is like a lager mixed with some it's like a special type of vodka.
I love how you're drinking it out of a wine glass, though. You're so bougie.
Huh?
I love how you're drinking it out of a wine glass, though. You're so bougie.
My champagne glass, unfortunately, is out of commission. And this is what I could muster. Alcohol is literal toxin. Somebody said they too immature to answer this question. I'm too judgmental for this question. I understand. The next question. Alcohol stifles reasoning skills and contemplating repercussions. As a result, people are more likely to tell the truth while intoxicated, offering up brutally honest, unfiltered opinions. I feel like I could be really drunk and be like, Trump was the best president ever. Fuck y'all. He's my president. Who's Obama? Like, I feel like I could say something like that while extremely drunk and not mean it. I do not feel like that would be the truth. But again, I keep making the distinction between blackout drunk and just tipsy or drunk. So,
Yeah, like if you're allowed to say stupid things when you're drinking. I do it all the time. I've done it here on this channel. Yeah.
If you told your husband you weren't in love with him anymore while you were drunk, let me put the question back. What would your husband say to this scenario?
It's just being addressed to me.
Yep.
What would he say? He would, he's a serious kind of guy, so you probably think he'll probably ask if what he did to deserve that.
Not I'm gonna shed a tear tonight. The next question. A woman gets an abortion during a rough patch of her relationship and doesn't tell the man. They go on to get married. What is up with these questions and rough patches? They go on to get married. Is the marriage built on a lie? Explain. We can go land, concern, and then a free.
I'm thinking if somebody else want to go, they can go.
Concern.
Y'all already know that I'm hella toxic. So I don't know. Like, rough patches are hard for me because I'm the type of person that I don't like. I guess what I'm trying to communicate is that like I take things seriously. So if you say that we're done, like I believe you. So when I think about a rough patch, if we were done during that time, like I believe you. And I am not feeling sure that I would want to have a child with you. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a father for my kid. This is a part of the, is this vetting or not? Like, is it messed up? So I would say that the marriage isn't built on a lie. Again, pray for me, all. But I don't think the marriage is built on a lie. I do think that having a guy's kid and being the person that, you know, is going to be ultimately the person that no one is confused about, the person, the maternity, the who's the mother. Like I'm not, obviously, you know, in the end he becomes, you know, my husband, and so there is commitment there, but there is obviously a time where I wasn't sure. So I think that it's valid. I do think that eventually we could talk about it. I would bring it up after I'm sure that we're going to be okay. But I would be confused if he was hurt by that.
You don't think finding out that years ago your now wife got an abortion without telling you until all these years later, you don't think that would make the man question the foundation of the marriage?
No, I'm so confused as to why it would. Like, how? We were together. You don't like. I'm so
Y'all, it
confused as
says
to
a rough
how.
patch of the relationship. I feel like you trying to make it a break, but it says a rough patch of the relationship. So I'm assuming they were still together, but still this was omitted.
I mean, if we were
Apparently,
still together, then go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
apparently the whole pregnancy would have to been, well, it could have been early in the pregnant, don't know, but apparently the pregnancy altogether would have been omitted.
Yeah, like I mean, for real, it's not even like I still think that when I haven't had kids. I'd be curious to hear what the other people here say, but I haven't had kids. It is an incredibly daunting thing to me to take on. And if we're going through a rough patch, depending on the severity of the roughness and our mind state in it, it might be wise not to have the kid at this time. You know, like I don't want to be in a relationship where I have this kid during a rough time and you feel trapped either. You know, like I want this to be a emphatic yes that we're going to be together. So I would say that yeah, like it totally makes sense to do that. And you know, I can talk about it once we're stable. But I would be confused if you're mad.
Okay. How about this? We can go around the circle and let everyone give their answer and then come back to Lana B and she can give hers. And then we can open the panel and discuss what I feel like is about to be a very dusty discussion. A free, you can go next. Wait, let me see. It's built on love. You pick the questions. I don't pick the questions. It's a deck. I just randomly select a card from the deck.
So just answer for now and explain later.
Yep. Go ahead. Let me get out the
All
card.
right, I'll ask the question again. Okay, I see it here. A woman gets an abortion during a rough patch of her relationship and doesn't tell the man. They go on to get married. Is the marriage built on a lie? No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Cantor.
Well, my answer is no for me anyway. Whether or not there was a rough patch, because I'm Team Yeetus Fetus, so we're not even going to talk about that. But I also have some questions, I guess. When they were together, were they weren't married yet, but were they like the type of people that were looking forward to having a child? Or were they like, oh, I ain't having kids anyway, so, or like, what do you call a rough patch? Are they just mad at each other or are they broken up?
I would assume, I don't know. This is all the question gives us. Let's say they were just being toxic towards each other.
Well, either way, I still would say no, because why, like, let's assume you wanted to have children in the first place. Like, why would you bring a kid into, you don't know how long that toxicity is going to last or if it's going to break you up or what. So like, I would have had the abortion, and I don't think you really had to tell them in the first place if you were, because that can be dangerous too. So
it's, y'all are explaining reasons to valid reasons to get an abortion, which I don't disagree with. But when discussing
but it's not built on a lie.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to it. Lambie.
Okay, so I can understand why he would feel at that moment that it's built on a lie. It's questioning the foundation of trust in the marriage, in the relationship. Um, if I was her, I would have never had said anything ever. Even if the guilt was killing me, it would just have to die with me in my grave. But I get why he would question it. I don't think like it's built on a lie, but I do think it could shake the trust that the relationship, whatever, in their marriage.
Okay. Let me ask the panel a question that I think someone in the comments asked earlier. Does it matter if the child is his or what would have been his?
What? I assumed that it was his. Whose child would it be in the first place?
Maybe she had a pregnancy from a previous relationship.
So she was already pregnant, got with him. Then they're going through
this is separate from the original scenario. I'm just asking if she was pregnant from a prior person, but then while they were in a relationship, she gets an abortion during the rough patch.
I'm confused at this point.
If she
giving yourself time in between relationships, I really think that the foundation would be rocky if you jumped from being pregnant to starting up something that would become serious toward marriage. Like, I don't think, I feel like that is a rocky foundation for a marriage, completely separate point, but like, yikes, like you're pregnant and you're already starting to talk to somebody else. I just would have told him about the abortion, whatever.
I feel like that is reasonable. Like, we're at a rough patch. I have an abortion. We're at a rough patch and I'm not obligated to speak to you. It's a lot going on. Irreconcilable differences. Don't know. Now y'all get back together and get married. Let me bring the question back up. So she hasn't told him. They're just married and happily married, and he does not know. I feel like this is problematic. Not to withhold this information during a rough patch, but after you mend the relationship and are moving forward in a serious manner and even now getting married, to still withhold it, I feel is concerning.
Well, if they're apart, like say if they're rush patch, because you even mentioned that the kid could be somebody else, at that point they're broken up to me. I'm not obligated to tell you what happened when we're not together if it's not something that could, it's we're not together. I'm living my life and I made decisions about my life. If I have to explain my entire path at this point, it's a pass.
So there's
Seeing
no difference to you between taking a break from the relationship and having a rough patch.
Well, when you said the baby could be somebody else, it's not a rough
Oh,
patch
that
anymore.
was just a little dust. That's not a part of the original question. I just wanted to see if y'all answer would change if the baby was from someone else.
Okay, but I'm thinking about this because if the rough patches we are separated and doing our own thing, to me it's like a breakup. If we're still in the relationship together and we're just having a whole bunch of toxicity, I think that's different. Like I said, it will question the foundation for me. Like if he finds out, but keep it to yourself.
Okay. Nia X said withhold. He's not owed her medical information. I feel like if my wife had cancer and she was getting cancer treatments at the hospital and we are just married for years and I never even knew that this was a thing while happening while we were married, um, or while we were in the beginning stages of our relationship, I would be like, I don't know. This feels like something I would talk to my wife about. So it's not that I don't know. I just feel like the man have a right to know. Um,
I get why you want to know, but even like a long time ago, I used to have to call people to remind them about their dentist appointments. And if their spouse answered the phone, we still couldn't give them information on if they have an appointment scheduled. Like we had to talk to either the person or have permission to even give their spouse that information. So, I mean, he is right in that. Like, he's not owed the information. Now, if she wants to tell him, I would generally, but I don't really hold secrets.
I don't know that I feel he's owed the information, but I agree that I feel like she should tell him. Um, in a healthy relationship, at least, if you're if you guys are married and everything's going fine, and your idea of a healthy relationship is that I omit information like this, then I'm questioning now the validity of the marriage as a whole. Um, the question frames it as, is the marriage built on a lie? Which I feel like everyone is opposed to saying yes, it is, because maybe that's dramatic. Let's.
Hey, can I switch the question up a bit?
Mhm.
What if it's you guys are going through a patch? It's the man and he, like have he cheat like goes and have relations with someone else, and doesn't tell her they go on to get married. Is the marriage built on a lie? In that sense, in your opinion?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I say a man has an ex like they have relations with someone else. They sleep with someone else while they're going through a patch and doesn't tell the partner, and they go on to get married. Is the marriage built on a lie?
You're asking me or the panel? I think it is built on a lie.
Okay.
I feel like built on a lie. I know you mentioned earlier dramatic, right? But I think, um, wow, like built on a lie implies that there's bad faith. And I feel like, a lot of the ladies really eloquently said it's like giving birth is a huge ask. And it's a medical situation that you're putting your body through.
Is
And
this about is before you continue, is this about a man forcing you to get an abortion, not get an abortion, or something like this? Or is this about your significant other knowing that a important medical procedure was done on you?
well, that also calls into question then, Petty, if I need to report to my spouse how many times I've had an abortion. I've never had one, but if I like I also think that's a lot. Like I'm not saying
How
that
many
I would ever lie to my partner if it
you're
came
saying,
up.
wait, before to clarify, you're saying, should you report in your scenario, you're saying this is like reporting every single time you had an abortion ever, or every single time you had one within your relationship and marriage with this man in the question?
See, but that's why I prefaced everything with saying, like, if you say we're done, I believe you. Okay. So that's why I'm a big fan of, don't say things that are like, don't bring up the divorce word, or don't bring up, breaking up. I'm not, unless we're really trying to have a conversation about that. And that's not a threat. That's not me trying to be idle, but it's like, when I think about, the idea of a rough patch, if it was during a rough patch where we both agreed that we did not bring up the divorce word or the breaking up, then it would be wrong for me to have been with some other guy, to have gotten pregnant by somebody other guy. I would have to report that. I know that's not exactly what you were asking earlier, but just to kind of make the distinctions and differences, I would feel obligated to report that, because duh, right? But especially when we think about, like, how vulnerable of a position a woman is in when she is during pregnancy and has a child, it's just such a personal choice. I really don't want a man who was not my husband at the time when I made that choice to weigh in on it, because you weren't a guarantee to help me through this. If my teeth started falling out, if I
Y'all keep,
needed if I got
y'all
sick,
keep,
if I got post-traumatic.
mhm.
No, go ahead. I was just finishing my thought. Sorry, go ahead.
It's that y'all keep being like, why should I tell him we're going through a rough patch? I don't know if we're gonna. It's like, no, we're past that and getting married now, and there's still no
Like,
desire
I
to, not
wouldn't deny it if
obligation. Like,
somebody, I wouldn't deny it if it came up. Like, I'm not going to lie to him, but I'm also not going to bring it up, because I truly believe that if you and I were in a place, and I'm not saying that it's his fault that we were in a place, but we were in a place where I was not guaranteed the best quality of life for my child had I brought it into this world. The best that I could do, I believe I could do. I truly do not think that it's something that a guy should be able to weigh in on. And so I wouldn't lie about it. I wouldn't deny it if it came up. I wouldn't, and I also wouldn't be afraid to bring up that conversation if it was ever relevant in our conversations. But it's truly not something where, like,
do you
I believe he even has a
do you
a
think
nickel to put in the wishing well.
do you think your husband or significant other partner, long-term relationship partner, would want to know something like that?
Why though? Like,
No,
what
no,
is
I don't know why, who, what, when, where.
I'm
Do you think he would
interested.
want to?
No,
Petty,
not really.
explain from a male's perspective the type of betrayal you would be going through if I had an abortion. Well, if a woman had an abortion and did not tell you prior to getting married, aborted your baby.
It just feels like something I would want to know. It's not that you withheld the information while we're having a rough patch or being toxic towards each other or having our differences. It's that you felt it appropriate to withhold this information from me
What would
during
you do with that information?
nothing. I just know it.
I have a question.
Hmm.
So he's thinking now the marriage is built on a lie. So does he base the marriage completely on this one thing, or this one thing outweighs literally everything else? Like, I don't.
Well, we talked on the last Dusty Questions about a man, for example, and a woman going on a break, and then one of them having sex while on the break. Then they get back together, and the relationship is fine, but you don't find out that he. Well, no, it wasn't even a break. I think. Well, yeah, it was. You find out years down the line, and I think everyone's reaction was similar. It was like, that was so long ago. Y'all were broken up.
Yeah, it's a
Why does it?
break.
Hmm?
I said, well, if it's a break, it's a break. Like, can't get mad that they went somewhere else during the break. You didn't want to be with them.
They defined a break as a hall pass. that's also how I feel like y'all are trying to define a rough patch of the relationship in this question as like we're on a break with hall passes.
But even if it's not on a break, like even if you're not seeing other people, if I'm still with you and I feel, and I get pregnant, I feel like this is not going anywhere. I'm uncomfortable with having a child with a man who I'm not sure loves me. I mean, I did what I did. I think down the road, you should tell your husband. I'll redact. I'll retract my first answer. I think down the road you should tell your husband because you want to be close. The two of you are supposed to be close. You're not just husband and wife. You are best friends. You are friends. You are a partner. So you should tell your husband, and the two of you should be comfortable enough to talk about things like that. But if you don't, if the woman doesn't, because he doesn't think that it's necessary to tell him, I wouldn't be mad at her either. I would just
So
like, it is what it is.
let me reframe the question. How about a woman gets an abortion during her relationship and doesn't tell the man? There is no rough patch. They go on to get married. Is the question now different to you guys since there was no rough patch?
I think the thing about it is,
I can't hear you.
oh, um, I think the thing about it is with abortions,
It
a
still sounds
woman.
far away.
Oh, is it better now?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the thing about abortions is that if a woman doesn't want to have a kid, it really shouldn't be a group decision. Because is it a group decision if we want if you get a vasectomy? Like, is that something that a woman and a man can say, hey, you know what, vasectomies are irreversible, so and hormone treatments are usually have so many side effects, so can you get a vasectomy so that we can have, you know, we can be protected from pregnancy? If I can say that to my partner and it be a thing where, what, he has to do it because it's not my body now, it's our body, then on a woman's side, if a woman does not want to have a kid, there's still such a scarlet letter of shame and stigma towards deciding not to have children that I can honestly empathize with a woman with saying, hey, I don't want to have this baby and I don't want to talk about it. I can see how it would be hurtful. I can see how the man could feel like,
But she
we're in
talked
a
in
relationship.
saying that I don't want to have a child and I don't want to discuss it further. She's discussing it with her husband, however little that conversation may be. And I feel like you guys are opposing two extremes. One where you have an abortion and don't tell your husband at all, and one where your husband has dominion over your body. And I feel like somewhere in the middle you can
Because
discuss
like an
it.
abortion is a very personal thing for a woman. And so like if she like men don't there's a lot of things that men go through that they don't feel comfortable discussing with not even their wives. Sometimes they just need
Name
time.
three.
Say that again.
Name three.
Okay. Like for example, I know a man who's been molested as a kid. He had a hard time talking to his girlfriend about that.
You said a heart attack?
Molested.
You said he had a heart attack talking to his girl about it?
No, he had a hard time
Okay.
talking to his girlfriend. I know that men sometimes they question their sexuality, but they don't feel comfortable talking to their significant other about that, especially if that person is a woman. If that person is a woman in particular, sometimes they don't want to talk about it. Sometimes they'll just repress, keep it to themselves. And if maybe something happened at work or at school or whatever that made them feel less of a man, they'll forego talking about that. I mean, I can give you a fourth reason. Another reason is this, if a man goes out, cheats on his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and decides to himself, if that's only going to be the first time, that one time, the first time and only time, and doesn't cheat ever again. A lot of men would feel like, why tell her? That's only going to strain our relationship. Two things are happening here. One is that this is a very, for women, for the abortion argument, abortion is a very personal thing for women. And two, if I brought this up to you, what would be the point of it? It would only strain our relationship, and it will only make you distrust me. So, with that being said, I guess like the question really is it better? Is it healthier for the relationship to hide or withhold information than it is to give you and tell you every single thing about me? Or should I just tell you? I guess it just depends on the two people, or the people who decided to get married or be in a committed relationship.
I feel like I agree it depends on the individuals, but I feel like this is withholding information from your partner generally is bad advice.
So, what's the new question? They are married now, and they weren't going through a rough patch, and she got the abortion and didn't tell, or
yeah, there's no longer a rough patch. Same question.
no longer a rough patch, and they are currently married or not.
Yep, she got an abortion during the relationship. Later on, they marry, but there is no rough patch.
I mean, I still don't think she has to tell him, but personally, me, I would have. I wouldn't feel obligated to.
I think Petty, like you are different in the sense that I think just based off, hearing you talk and have these conversations, I think
you about to say I'm a unicorn, like Taz?
I'm not saying you're a unicorn, but I'm saying
Like
that a lot of men would not be as understanding. And so I guess that's why I'm like, hey, that a woman wants to take that to her grave, so long as she doesn't continue to do that during the marriage, then I don't think it is built. The foundations of the marriage is built on a lie. If she does it during the marriage, then yeah, there's like a trust issue going on. But before the marriage, before they decided to make that commitment with each other, then no, I don't think so.
I also want to add, Petty, that like it sounds like for you, 100% transparency is important.
No,
and I can respect it. Like it's different strokes for different folks, right? There's a lot of like some people, and it's based off of their own past and all the above. But for people who, even if they got the abortion in, for all the right reasons, would feel such a deep sense of unsettling with it, like because of their backgrounds or whatever. Like abortions are for a lot of women so stigmatized in most places that it's not even something that a woman might even tell her friend. Like her best friend who she talks to all the time, she might never tell her mom. Like it's something like an abortion is something that is, I think, on a level of stigma and a level of turmoil in a woman that it's not like she does. You could still be her best friend. You could still be the person that she wants to share every moment with. But that moment is something that is very difficult for women in 2022 to wrestle with in public at all.
Should it be stigmatized in this way? where women feel extremely ashamed to even discuss it with their best of friends.
I don't think so. But I mean, it is it is stigmatized. So there you have
So
it. I mean, if I felt like you know, if
if you
I
feel
mhm. Go
where
ahead.
I was, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it just like I said, it just depends on the man. In this case, um, does that woman feel comfortable enough to tell her everything, like to be transparent with him and just because like does will she not only will she tell him, but he's gonna have to have the emotional intelligence to be able to talk about it and for them to discuss, how to heal from that.
This implies that there is mistrust in your partner's ability to handle the information that you will give to them. Or there's also an implication that the same type of stigma that you will face if you disclose this information to society, which I agree exists, will also exist in your home, which I feel like your home is the place where it shouldn't exist. I feel like maybe you feel ashamed to say these things out loud, like how girls do feel about abortion or body count or periods or whatever. But I feel like these should be things that are comfortable to discuss in your relationship, assuming the relationship is healthy.
These things are
And
they should be the way to the ideal, but a lot of times sometimes Petty, you just trust people to be who they are. You don't you don't just go around and trust everybody with everything. You just trust them to be exactly the person that they present. Now, if you want to break that, if she wants to go and like, hey, I should be able to talk to my husband about that, sure, she should do that and try to break that barrier. But for a lot of women, it's like, no, I'm just gonna trust that I know you and I know how you're gonna react to this, and I don't need that in my life. um, I'll just talk to my therapist.
And honestly, that's okay. Like, I think that for like every personality needs different things from a relationship. I don't. I think that especially it's so easy for a man to say the wrong thing, and that could break her heart in a way that is unnecessary. Like there was a I don't remember where I read this before I heard it, but it was so well said. You can sympathize, but you cannot empathize because you do not know. And so I can't empathize with a person who had an abortion either. It's one of those things within that context, within that relationship, within her background. And so it's a thing where, why wouldn't she tell the person that she calls up every single evening to give a download of her day? Because it is so personal. It is such a hot button topic. Like I would literally rather talk to you about anything else than this, even if I'm trying to I might unpack it with my therapist. And I mean personally, I will unpack it with my friend, but I don't think it's wrong that a person would not want to put people in a position to say the wrong thing, even if you know that that person is not gonna leave you or judge you, but if they say the wrong thing and then there's bad feelings between you or resentment because it's two people who are human, like they're gonna make mistakes, and saying something that is hurtful in that context or demonizing in any way in that context can be really heartbreaking for a person, and it might be difficult to see that person in the same way after, even if they meant well and they are not judging. But it's such a vulnerable position to be in, because men are not men, all men, but like the people who believe that abortions are wrong are calling these women a lot of really crazy words. They're comparing them to people who are well hated. Like it's not an easy thing to unpack, because they truly demonize the women who experience this. We don't even have a language that's empathetic about it.
Okay, I apologize to interrupt. We are reaching the hour mark, and I do have a sponsor today that I have to bring up every hour interval. I apologize, but guys, for those who are just hopping in, this video is sponsored by Krispy Kreme Donuts. I'm proud to announce that I have a new sponsor for the first time ever. Again, if you're looking for the crispiest, juiciest, wettest, fattest donuts, you're going to want to head over to Krispy Kreme and get yours. With that being said, um, I feel like this is a broader conversation about, someone said it in the comments, boundaries, standards, and expectation within your relationship, which I think it's fair that we have different, all of us on stage, well, particularly everybody against me, have different type of standard in our relationship, which mine would include disclosing something like this. But I also see the validity of something like, because of Free brought up being molested as a child, for example, or a sexual assault that you may face, which I think now, after a lot of therapy, I would feel comfortable sharing these things with a long-term partner. Um, but I understand there are people who do not. And if I go to a mental health professional, I'm sure they would agree with you guys that sometimes even just having these conversations is difficult and unhealthy for the person, in this case the woman, who is having it with her husband. So in that case, I would say it's unfair to demand that she tell me about this abortion. I guess to answer the question, I don't think the marriage is built on a lie. I do think it was dishonest to withhold this information from your husband, particularly if he cares about it. And you have all been saying, why would he care? Why does it matter? It's her. But look, if he cares, he cares. It feels like extremely invalidating to say you shouldn't care. Okay, but I do.
I'm
If
thinking
you're
about Krispy Kreme donuts now, but if he cares, like what I guess the question is, in what way does he care? Does he care so that he can provide emotional support, or does he care because he feels betrayed by?
I would probably say because of the betrayal thing. Again, this feels like a lack of trust in the marriage and a lack of. Now I'm questioning, what else are you hiding from me?
That's rough, man. And that's probably why she probably wouldn't tell you, because, and that's not me trying to be snarky. It's more like she probably will go to her grave with that. If she decides to withhold it for a little bit, she's probably going to end up feeling like she has to double down.
Oh, now,
Um,
if she comes to me, let me clarify. If she comes to me and say, we were going through a rough time back then and we weren't really talking. Now that things are healthier, here's what happened. I feel like that's perfectly acceptable. Like, because this question is based on a rough patch, or in the case that you guys were talking about, maybe it was extremely traumatic and she just don't want to talk about it, and now she's comfortable opening up later down the line. That feels reasonable to me. But the response, it's my body, so I don't care to tell you, which is true, I still feel like is extremely invalidating for your partner.
so, production inquiry is out here asking really good questions. She mentioned one that I'm going to roll it back. So, it was, um, do you have to reveal previously caught STDs? Like, if you got an STD
Y'all in
in
the
your past, and it's an STI rather, so something curable, right? If you got one in your past, but you're not, you know, positive in those ways now, like, is that so? Do you have to report that as well? And I'm not trying to tit for tat, but it's more so of like, there are things that are so stigmatized and demonized
Mhm.
that most people wouldn't want to be judged by that. Like, they wouldn't even want that to come up on your radar for you to have an opinion about.
Y'all in these STD questions. People contract STIs, get them treated, and don't reveal to a subsequent partner and future spouse. I feel like this is different in that it was before y'all were even together. Unless it's something that affects you now, like herpes or AIDS, then generally I don't think it's important to disclose. But if your new partner says that it's important to me to know, have you ever had any STDs in the past? I feel like if you like that person, then yeah, I would disclose that. If they say it's important to them, like if you know that it's important to, like the abortion thing, even if my partner doesn't know that this is important for me to know, then I can't really blame them for not telling me. They don't, to them, it could be something like an STD, which I feel like if it's cured and it's in the past and doesn't affect you, why even bring it up?
It's kind of like getting your GED and then going to school to get your bachelor's.
Yeah.
Like, would you go to your new employer and be like, "Hey, I have my GED, so I should qualify, right?" No, you would brag about your bachelor's in janitorial services, and then that's what you go off of.
I don't understand the
If
comparison.
it was our kid, I could. They're saying that it was a medical experience. Basically, it was just a thing that happened that is no longer relevant. I'm saying that I could see how it could hurt a guy to be in a position where he could have had a baby right now, but
Um,
she made a choice without him. I get that.
disingenuous, because the correct way to ask this question would be: you find out you have an STD within your current relationship, get it treated and cured, and do not reveal it to your partner. Assuming that he just took a STD test and his came out clean, so you know it has not affected him. Should you reveal it to him?
Yo, for real, that means that unless he got it from off of a toilet seat, that would mean that he has something else to disclose to me.
I think it's possible for something to show up later down the line without symptoms. Generally, I think it's more common in men than women, but I think it's possible for women to not have any sign of anything going on, then get a test and something's going on, even though there are no symptoms. So I think it's possible that you could contract something in the past, not know, and get tested, and now you're in the relationship. And what you just said about, wait a minute, does this motherfucker? So yes. Production, is Petty talking about a woman not disclosing that she aborted her husband's baby previously? Yes, but not husband. They're in a relationship, have a rough patch. She gets an abortion. They make up, go on to get married. She never tells him. Is the marriage built on a lie? Which we then change to, I guess, is it problematic? Let's just say, is it problematic? Because the marriage built on a lie, nobody seemed to be behind. Let me go through the comments. Anyone may comment if they want to. Now, yeah, okay. I have no further. I'm late as hell. Erica's late as hell.
The whole point is that the reason why I said that is that your employer will look at you differently if you presented just a GED as opposed to a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So why? I guess, I mean, it's logical to me. So the question is, if you had an STD and in your past and it's curable, and now you are with someone else, and I don't understand why you would say that. Like, wow. Like, honestly,
I don't think you would.
If you no longer have the STD, then don't. Why did I need to know that?
What if your partner used to be a woman and you're child free, so you don't plan to have any more children? Does it matter that they disclose that to you?
Whoa, what?
Can you repeat
What?
that?
If your partner, let's say, I assume all of y'all are heterosexual or bisexual or date men generally. If your partner used to be a woman, but is now a trans man, but you don't know that. They have the surgery and the transition and everything just, this is a normal looking gentleman, and you are not planning to have children in the future. Should they disclose this to you? Since, like Afri
Yes.
said,
I
now
mean,
they're a man. So why does their past matter if it does not affect you?
yes,
Yo,
because
I
I'm
think it's a
not a
disingenuous
lesbian.
question.
Huh?
I think it's a disingenuous question.
Well, how come? How does it affect you now, currently? If you're not planning to have children, I'm saying.
Because I'm not a lesbian, I'm attracted to heterosexual cis men.
He is a man.
No, he's not a cis man.
What is the difference between cis and trans men?
One was born as whatever biological gender they were born as, and they identify as that completely. And
So
one does not identify and they transition.
I feel like if you're in the club, you are not looking for someone's chromosomes and biology. You're
Yeah,
probably
but
just
I'm basically the scenario because I have no desire to have anyone's children, but I am still only attracted to hetero cis men.
is there a behavior? Like, how do you distinguish between the two aside from them disclosing it to you?
I would not be sexually attracted if I found out she was a woman
But this says
at
if you
all. Even
found
if
out,
they had
which
a,
implies that they have to disclose it to you.
yeah, I would ask anyway.
And if they disclose it to you, then your attraction is gone.
Pretty much.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think that being trans is a. I'm unpacking how I feel about it. If I were to be with a person who was not a cisgendered male, I don't believe that it's any of my business how other people decide to live their life, and so I support people who are trans. But to decide that I am going to be in a relationship with a person who was not born a male, I would like to be given the opportunity to make that decision on purpose. Now, there's more to a person than their genome, right? So I don't know if that person and my connection and attraction would overcome it. It might. Um,
Ooh.
I don't think that it's the same as saying, hey, there are times where it is wise not to have that baby, where you really probably don't need to just have that baby. And so if if she feels like talking about it, like I would want to be in a relationship where I felt safe talking about it, but I wouldn't throw out the relationship because I don't feel safe talking about it, because that might have a lot to do with how I feel about it. I'm not even judging or blaming him in this moment. If I don't feel safe talking about it, I don't feel obligated to talk about an abortion that happened while we were not in a good space where it made sense for me to have this child and to further complicate our relationship. Will I say that, the relationship is now toxic? And I know you said that we all agree that it's like the relationship is not built on a lie. It's not but like there's so many things that go on with a woman during that time. Anyways, the trans thing, it's you need to give people the opportunity to make the choice to be with you.
Well, when I said you need
I
to
think
give
you should
that
tell
man,
people if you're bisexual too. I think you should tell people, like, I think that people need to know about
is it
things.
is it rational for you to have these thoughts and feelings towards another person, gender identity, and how they present to the world?
And what was that? I'm sorry. Again.
What's that?
What did you just ask again? I'm sorry.
Is it important for a person to this trans person to disclose their identity to you,
Yes, because you can't
even if
force.
it's them and their gender identity? Is
I'm
that
fine
your
with
business?
them identifying as, well, either female to male or male to female. I don't really care. That doesn't matter. What does matter is you don't get to force someone else's sexual orientation onto, like, you don't get to change someone else's just because it's convenient for you.
I, f-
For to
I feel
me
like
personally,
this
I
is
would feel like I would had been raped if they didn't disclose. It is because I didn't even get a choice.
so. I feel like this is anti-trans.
No, because my sexual orientation is mine. I don't force it on other people. They don't get to force it on me.
Is it
Okay.
anti-trans? Like, I don't know, because for me, I understand why it could feel like I'm stigmatizing it. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be, you
So
know.
before you
Go ahead.
respond, let me read this, and maybe this will answer your question. I guess I don't understand why you withhold that from someone who you love and trust and are intimate with. Well, when we were talking about abortion and why you would withhold it from your current husband, assuming that you're in the relationship with them while it happened, um, most of y'all were speaking about how even though the husband may have strong feeling about this, ultimately it is that woman's decision and her feelings about the situation that reign supreme, even though they're in a relationship together. So that is what should be considered when it comes to a very invasive conversation like that. So when I bring in trans people to this scenario where even Cantor said once they disclose it to me, it would change my feelings about it in the same way in which I said about abortion. If you disclose this to me that this happened, even though it was not my body and not really my choice to make, just finding out that you've been withholding this information from me is now changes my attitude towards the marriage in the same
But
way that you
does it harm you? Is the question. Like, there's so many ways I can answer, I can tackle this.
have.
Like, okay, so like the trans thing, that's a whole culture, and I'm not part of that culture. So I would want you to explain to me, or at least like be upfront with me about who you are. That is part of who you are, not necessarily like what you have um, done against me, or that's just who you are. So why wouldn't you talk about who you are? That's different from a woman having an abortion in the past. They're in a rough patch in her life or whatever. Before the two of you were married. Um, and I also think that you are, like somebody else said here, taking away that person's choice too. So I mean, just to tell you guys a little story. I had when I was 19, got into a relationship with a man who, at the time, I was a virgin. And this man, he was I don't know if I can say it, he was an offender. He was an offender. And I didn't know it. But he didn't tell me because he told me that he knew that I would look at him differently. So that's something that would harm me. Like, I should know that you are a criminal because of course I'm gonna look at you differently because you have the potential to do harm. But for an abortion, I can't hurt you. You know what I mean? So like it would be nice to share that information with you when I feel comfortable. Is that
Um,
my fire alarm or somebody else's?
you know if it's your fire alarm or not.
No, no, because I just fixed mine a couple days ago. I don't know why. Anyway, my bad. I answered the question.
Mm, mm.
For me, I feel like with like I can see myself being with a person who, like, it really depends on the person. It doesn't mean our relationship is over. I do think that you do need to say it to me though. And let that and let me make that choice. I think that with the abortion thing, I think I'm getting the feeling like you feel like you're being gaslit about how seriously you take this. No one is telling you, Petty, that it wouldn't be that you have no right to want to know. I think are just to be specific, I think what we're arguing is, are you entitled to know?
I don't think I'm
And
entitled to know.
and the thing is, I can understand you wanting to know, and I can understand you wanting to understand that, hey, even on the end of like, hey, I could have had a kid right now, I could have been a father, blah blah blah, right? But it's I just wanting to make that clear, like, no one is saying that most men wouldn't want to know. We're saying that they're not entitled.
Okay. They're not entitled because it does not affect them.
They're not entitled because it is like, there's, yeah, because abortion, and if she can have more children in the future, and abortion is such a personal thing that she's going to get so much stigma for that. Yeah.
I think I'm more upset with being this. Y'all said it's not being dishonest, and technically she didn't say a lie, but withholding this information that your partner feels is very important to disclose to them, I feel is concerning, regardless of what the information is. Somebody said horse deworming medicine in the comments. If I tell you in the relationship, hey, I feel a certain type of way about women who take horse deworming medicine, like that is relationship deal breaker, and you do it and don't tell me, even though, like you guys are saying, this has no effect on me whatsoever. I feel like if I have defined this boundary in the relationship, and well,
Let me ask you a question. If a man goes out and cheats on a woman,
yes, he should tell her.
he should tell
My
her,
bad.
right? And
Yeah.
why should he tell her?
You're breaking the boundaries of your relationship.
You're breaking
Well,
the
I
boundary.
assume you are. If you're cheating, I assume your relationship is not open, and y'all have a loyalty agreement with each other as far as that's what you guys value in your relationship, and now you are breaking that boundary.
Okay, in that context, okay, that's definitely not my fire alarm.
It's not
Um,
like, how dare you abort my child? No, it's not like that at all. Um,
Now, if he
Let me
asks,
bring.
I'll tell him.
The theme is
Like,
asked, do you date trans women, Petty? I don't. Not to my knowledge. As we discussed today, apparently these ladies, some of them might not know unless you disclose it to them. Um, but no, not to my knowledge. I haven't before. And I don't.
I mean, with that being said, if the foundations of your relationship is that you guys, the two of you, are 100% transparent. Okay, I see your point, Petty. As it should be, that you
It's
guys are transparent.
within the context of my relationship. Hopefully, this is something that we have talked about early in the relationship about our boundaries and stuff like that. Um, where important decisions, I would hope we are open and honest with each other. So this question, you being dishonest with me, I feel like you have broken a boundary. If I have not expressed that this is a major boundary to me and you don't tell me, then can I be mad? I don't think so. Um, but I could still be hurt again because that's my boundary. Um, would you date a trans woman? Probably not if I knew.
I
No.
agree that the guy
That's why
can.
it's gonna be privated.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
I think people are
I
pretty
agree
aware. People are
that the
pretty
guy
aware that
can.
I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You were saying one of
Oh,
you.
I agree. The guy can feel hurt by the decision to not tell him about the abortion. I don't think
But he
he's
should get over it. He should get
obligated,
over
but
it.
I do think that should be a, a conversation before getting married. Like, what types of things are we expecting to know, or tell each other, and what things can you keep to yourself? Kind of conversation. I feel like that should have been happened before a marriage, but I guess it didn't happen in this case. So
I agree. So if your husband feels hurt if you disclose this years down the line, anyone may answer. Is it within his do you think it's reasonable for him to say he wants to leave the relationship?
I mean, I think it's always reasonable for him to say that he wants to leave the relationship, because I can't keep you here if you don't want to be in the relationship. I think that I would see it as controlling if you made this something that is a relationship breaker. And I would say it's not empathetic because, again, we were in a rough patch. You and I are probably in a mindset where we want to have babies in a stable environment. It was not a stable environment, and I made that call because we all know that it is more probable that I am going to be left with this responsibility. So I wouldn't, I mean, he's always like able to leave. I'm not going to like try to convince you not to if you want to go. But I would say that I would be concerned about why you would break off the relationship that is that is over the rough patch, and now maybe we're talking about having kids now or whatever. Like I would feel like you want to that you're seeing this my body as our body, as community property. And then I would probably bring up, well, if it's community property, can I decide how, like, every time you go to the doctor, can I decide all the things you get checked up? Like, let's figure out, how we want this community property to go. I mean, that,
I feel like in
if
a
he's still there.
I feel like in a marriage, my feelings should have validity to the woman, even if it's not my body. Even in the instance of something like abortion, a drastic haircut, invasive medical procedure, even though these things are for the woman to make the final decision, in my opinion, always, and it's not really my place to demand that she do what I tell her to. I would hope that my opinions on the situation, assuming we're in a healthy marriage, are at least valid and considered. Otherwise, I don't know. That does not feel like a healthy marriage to me. Like somebody in
Totally.
the comments was like, "Get over it." It's like I had an abortion. Get over it. What are we having for dinner? I'm like,
No, his opinions and his feelings are
No,
valid.
but like if you're,
That's what one
I
sided.
I have to say, like again, abortion is not like abortion is not the same as a man going out and cheating on his wife. Like
Or a
abortion is
woman going
very,
out and cheating.
or a woman going out and cheating on her husband. Like you should be a little more, I have to say it, supportive, like emotionally supportive. That's not something that she felt like, if
it's
she
not
made
the
that decision.
abortion. She lied about it.
I
Well, she
mean,
didn't
that's
lie.
that's
She withheld the information for.
I mean, that's not something. Abortion is a serious decision. Like the lady said uh, before, that is not something that you just bring up and be like, "Oh, I feel so betrayed." I mean, if my husband had to go out and kill a man, and he just didn't talk about it for years because of just a trauma.
I'm on the fence about abortion.
Petty is so petty. Um, then I'll be like, all right, you can talk to me when you have time. But if he never decides that he wants to talk to me about, killing a man because he had to, or because out of defense, obviously out of defense, not because he's a murderer, um, then it is what it is. I think that you know what I mean. That's not
I
like
think
doing something trivial.
right. I mean, I'm sorry, Afri. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. Because I think that, to me personally, I do think that people within relationships are entitled to privacy, for certain things. But I don't know if I even, because the thing about it is we're thinking about the abortion. She was thinking about giving birth. She was thinking about going through full term pregnancy when she wasn't sure that she was going to have a partner during that. And women who have had kids can have a myriad of things happen to them, even if it's a healthy pregnancy. It is such an exhausting experience. And so when she decides that she's not going to have this pregnancy, this child come into this life, and that's going to be a significant financial burden, a significant mental, emotional, spiritual, all the things burden in her life, like, that she's guaranteed to have. She's not guaranteed that you're going to be there. It might not even be that she's saying she doesn't want to have your children. She might be saying, I don't want to have children right now. Like, and and I want to underline, highlight, bold. It was during a rough patch. It would not make, she would have to be taking out a huge bet on you coming back and getting through this.
Not
If
her.
she were to
Reminder. Not her telling me while we're having a rough patch. Her telling me while we are in a healthy relationship and now married.
I mean, I wouldn't withhold the information if it came up, but I wouldn't bring it up like we're having coffee in the morning and it's like, so see what happened was, right? Like it, I wouldn't feel guilty about not bringing it up unless it came up.
Okay, let me put this question on screen and answer it real quick before we get too far away from it. Are you transphobic, and why won't you date trans women? So when Cantor On was speaking about how even in a relationship where she was unaware the person was trans and everything is fine and normal surgery has happened, so they are passing for a cis man, there's still, if it's disclosed to you, even though there's no other issue in the relationship and it doesn't affect, I guess, anything outside of your mental, I think that is valid as well. And maybe that is illogical, but there is a mental barrier, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's not transphobic. I'm doing a video on that in the future.
Can I answer production inquiry's question? Or he didn't have a question, or he or she didn't have a question. They had a statement. They said, hold on, I'm sorry. He said, killing a man and having an abortion are not analogous, my bad. Why isn't it? Because when you have an abortion, essentially, aren't you taking a life?
I don't believe so. I don't generally know. And even if you are, the reason I don't think killing a man is analogous is because in the way I think about abortion, I think about it in the, have you ever heard of the violinist argument?
No.
So generally I think of it as if there is a violinist attached to your waist, and the doctor lets you know that the violinist will have to be hooked up to you for 9 months until his body stabilizes and then he can be free from you. You are under no obligation to sustain this man's life at the expense of your body because you have your bodily autonomy. So in this case, I feel like even if you do consider it killing, the child, I don't feel like gets to the life of the child does not supersede your bodily autonomy, at least to me. So I don't feel like they're analogous.
I mean,
go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, I think that when it comes to, do I think it's the same? I don't. I think that, I don't think we understand when it is a life. I think that science hasn't given us enough clarity to, like, science can't decide that, and like, we are making a social contract to decide that it's a life at a zygote, it's a life at a barbity blarb. I think that it is an unquestioned truth that is a live person. So if he were to kill men, like being in war or whatever, so to me, it's not the same.
Free, do you have anything?
I feel like it's. I don't believe that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you are truly taking a life. If you have an abortion, some people do. Like Concern said, We don't really have a full grasp of what determines life, like when the child is alive and conscious. But I do still think that it is, you know, it can be comparable to going out and taking a man or woman's life. That's how serious the decision is. It's not like you just go and walk up in the clinic and say to yourself, "Oh, I'll just have an abortion today." That's not what's happening. Like, it's not like you go and get ice cream from down the shop. That's not an easy decision. That's why I'm like, it should be personal. But yeah, I'm ready for the next dusty question.
Yeah,
They said we only on the.
this is getting way deeper than these dusty. These are supposed to be dusty questions, Peggy, but we're having like these deep conversations.
Yeah, y'all need to see. This is the problem with women, and this is why I like speaking to men. Men don't make me think. Okay, they don't make me flex my brain muscles. We talk about niggatry. Okay, and we're
And
doing
if I have
messy
to step
questions
out
right
for a
now.
second, I'll be right back.
We're doing messy questions right now, and y'all want to have these philosophical debates.
You chose these questions. I mean, just by
I did
looking at
not
He said he
choose.
drew from a card.
I'm drawing. I'm drawing, and the next question is, since I am the drawer, the decider. Let me put it on the screen.
He
We can
said
come
he'll
back
rather
to
have this conversation with Stan.
Stan the man. No, Stan is gonna take too long, and it's gonna be too loud. A man doesn't want a woman to go through with a pregnancy. Later, he feels he shouldn't pay child support because she wanted the child and he didn't. Does he have a point? Explain. Finally, some dusty questions. All this abortion, STD. Like, let's talk about some real dust. Um, y'all can answer this in any order.
if he doesn't want a child and he knows he doesn't want a child, he should wear protection before ever going inside of a woman unprotected and releasing his semen inside of her. He made the choice when he decided to ejaculate inside her. That was when he made his choice. So what comes after is consequences for his choice then.
Period.
Okay.
Yo, like, I had this conversation with on another panel, and they had this guy who, he's a self-proclaimed doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, women choose to be single mothers," and I'm like, "You're a doctor?" So, like, I mean, well, I suppose, depending on what your profession, where your education is, you can be, a doctor. It doesn't have to be like a medical doctor or whatever. But I still think people are confused. What, and I know I'm trying to relate it back to the question, but when you have sex without a condom, know to yourself you're going to possibly get somebody pregnant. And when that happens, you have to, just like the other person, you guys have to suffer the consequences. Now, it doesn't have to be suffering if the two of you bear the weight. That's the point of you being of a parenthood, for the two of you to bear the weight. One person works or whatever. But no, it's very simple. You would think that people understand this. I don't understand. First of all, why is she even paying child support? Are you not the father? Don't you know that you're the father? If you're active, most women are not, conniving like that. I don't believe that women are out here forcing men into child support. I think most women would prefer to have a father for their children. So, like, why aren't you in the child's life in the first place? Why are you questioning the child support? You're not in the child's life.
Okay. Cantor, you can answer. Then I have a question for the panel.
No, his choice was when he got her pregnant. Like what is it, Lance Matt said? He could have just gotten a vasectomy if he never wanted children, or if he maybe wants them in the future. Like, there are condoms, you can get them for free at the health department. Like, you had choices and you chose not to do anything. So I don't know what to tell you, sir. You're just gonna have to pay.
So, look, Y'all are gonna drag me for this, but I think this man is completely right. Nah, let me stop playing. Um, so child support isn't about what you want and don't want to do, or in this particular case that he's talking about here, it's about what's best for the child, right? I think Kenny said that in the comments. Oh, excuse me, IMAB 125 said in the comments, it is in society's and the child best interest for both parents to support it. And if a man is not going to be there physically, and I think legally he's able to do that in America. I think so. Otherwise, I assume it'd be a lot of people in a lot of men in jail. But legally, you are able to abandon your child in the United States. So you are not able to abandon your financial responsibility to it. And that is because the child does not deserve to be punished because you make a bad decision or you regret something or you don't want him to be here or whatever. So my next question would be, if we live in a system where we have social programs to pay child support instead of individuals, do you think this man should be able um, to abandon his child, I guess, and give up rights to his child, abandon his obligation? Or, well, first, let me ask: do you guys think generally a man should be legally allowed to abandon his child?
No.
No.
Do you believe a woman should be able to abandon her child?
No.
No.
So, if you have a child, you are stuck with it. You can't give it up for adoption. Nothing. That's just
If you like abandonment is like you abandonment is different from adoption. Like if you
okay.
put your child up for adoption, you're giving your child up to someone who will be able to care for it. Abandonment is just like, you leave your child somewhere and never look back. I think it's crazy that we allow men to leave in the first place, their children.
Isn't it similar to adoption in that they're leaving it with a parent?
No, because in
No.
abandonment, you're just leaving a child uncared for, and they can starve to death. No one's there to take care of them. But when you're putting them up for adoption or you're giving them to a new legal guardian, even if you give up guardianship to someone, you know who you're giving the guardianship to.
Okay, let me
Just
rephrase it since
someone.
I used abandonment incorrectly. If should should the parents be able to give up custody of their child? Let me say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if they know to themselves and they're not able to take care of the child properly and they find a better suitor or better parents, then sure.
Okay. Anyone else?
What was the question? Should they be allowed to give up
Give up custody
custody?
of the child, which
Yeah,
could be
to
giving it up for
someone
adoption,
who,
giving it to the other parent, to another guardian, whoever.
as long
But
as they sign all their rights away to the child. Yeah. Like you can't come back later and be like, oh, I get to decide a school or get to decide anything really. No medical information, no anything.
okay, do you guys now in this new system where child support is a social program and not paid by individuals? Do you believe a man should be able to give up his I guess custody to the child in the same way that he does in our current system, but without paying child support?
So there's a social program
Yep.
that pays instead of the parents, whichever one decides to give up custody. And I'm guessing the social program is funded by everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's weird. No, and I feel like it would create problems, not even solve a problem.
That's
Yeah.
why the child support system was created, because the states were taking up the slack for the abandonment of these children by one parent. So they created child support and started putting all these men on child support for.
I thought it was something like 63% of child support is unpaid or extremely behind.
It's probably true, yeah.
That's probably true.
Can someone because I'm still, to this day, I still don't understand child support. I don't understand men who are against child support. I don't understand men who are against child support and men who say that women choose to be single mothers. Can someone explain that argument to me? I know
I
this
don't
is
say
off
that.
topic, but I'm just trying to understand
I
where
I
don't
don't
people.
say that
understand
women
it
choose
either.
to be. I don't say that they choose to be single mothers. I do think men should be able to give up their custody and legal rights to their child and not pay child support, but only under a system where we have social program for children. So probably not anytime soon. I don't think anybody would make a system like that ever. Where a system where if the man wants, I don't know, 50% custody or something, like whatever type of, if he wants rights to his child, regardless of if he has custody or not, he paid child support. But if he relinquishes rights to his child, now the system takes over with a social program. In a system like that, I feel like men should be able to give up their right and not pay child support. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Because the guy who called himself a doctor or whatever was like, well, yeah, women choose to be single mothers when they go, have unprotected sex, and they don't know who the father is or whatever. But is that choosing to be a single mother, or is that just like taking a risk? Or
You
I'm
are
trying to understand their argument.
you are addressing men who are not present over here.
So,
Okay.
I
Mhm.
guess responding to a free, like, you're saying that they were saying, well, I've heard it before too, that they're saying that women are choosing to be single mothers by, I guess, either choosing to not abort or choosing to, I guess, have sex with this guy,
Yeah, to
which
have
is a
sex with
risk
a
in the first
guy,
place.
like it's like a one night stand kind of thing, and you don't even
Well,
know
that
that
same
thing.
logic, he's choosing to pay child support. Like, he didn't have to have sex with her. It didn't have to be a one night stand. Like, he's choosing to pay child support if that's
I
the
mean,
case.
to me, it just
That
seems
doesn't
like
make
that makes
sense.
like the only way a woman can be a single mother is if the man leaves.
Yeah.
That's what makes a single mother. What other way can a woman be? Can someone get Timus not Timus. Somebody get what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Stan the man up here
Mm.
and explain to us anyway, I don't want to take it
It
off
just
topic.
doesn't really
If
make much
there,
sense. The argument they're making, the guys are being like, it doesn't really make, it doesn't make much sense to me, honestly.
if there are any men in the audience who are ghost watching, please click the link which I just provided. Come up, and I would like your answer to a freeze question as well as the question on screen. A man doesn't want a woman to go through with a pregnancy. Later, he feels he shouldn't pay child support because she wanted the child and he didn't. Does he have a point? Explain. If any men are in the comments, please come up and let your voice be heard, including you, Stan, if you're watching. I don't think he is. A system
Also,
like
can
that.
I,
Mhm.
but the whole, let's make this, I guess, your example where the government is funding this child that the guy abandons, that would just encourage more and more men who are already doing it at a high, like unnecessarily high rate now, to be more of a burden on society, because then
Wouldn't
there's really no consequence at all. And
do
the
you
same
think
guys that are already doing this kind of, like, they're already participating in this kind of behavior, it'll just get worse. I don't, that'd be a horrible, horrible government plan.
um do you think child support put a dent in the pregnancy rates in the black community, any community? The
I don't think
introduction
it
of
put a
child support.
dent there, but it did put a consequence there.
So you think these actions should have consequence? As for, well, you think sex should have a consequence generally.
I mean, it already does. Like, either you will or won't get pregnant, and either the guy will or won't leave. Like, there is already a consequence.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say this.
Consequences could be good or bad. It's a consequence.
Okay.
This has never happened. As far as like, I'm Muslim, right? In Islam, it is permissible not permissible, but it is you can be a woman who gets pregnant and decide to yourself that you don't want to be a mother and give the child to the father, and it is that father's duty to take care of the child. But you, the mother, if you decide that you don't want to be a mother, you can choose not to be a mother. Now, this has never ever happened. Like, I've never witnessed anything like that. Most women want to be in their child's life, but technically in Islam, that is something you can do and not be punished.
So abortion was recently your federal protection as far as your legal right to your federal right to an abortion was removed. Do you guys believe now in this system where I believe we may be having a lot more women who don't want to have children kind of being forced to have children, if they give up their child to the father, do you believe they should pay child support? Anyone may answer.
Repeat the question one more time.
Yes, please.
Since we're in a scenario now where women no longer have federal right to abortion, and I believe there may be more women now who don't want to have children, having children. If these women, since they have no option but to have the child, have it, and then once the child is here, give it up to the father for the father to take care of, do you believe these women should pay child support?
Yeah. I mean, if she has a child.
Yeah, she should pay child support.
Okay. Jamil, Lambie, if you guys want to comment, you can.
Sorry, one sec.
Oh, sorry.
You can go ahead. Me and my husband's having a conversation.
Okay. Jamil.
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
You sound a little soft.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Not as an insult, but just like you sound far away from the mic.
Can you hear me better now?
No.
No, it's still bad. Crap. Hold on.
This already happens. What? Oh yeah, it does. I think I know what she was talking about.
It does happen sometimes.
The question, Jamil, is if now in this new society where women don't have as much right to their body, do you think a woman, if she has a child that she does not want, give that child up to the father, should she be required to pay child support to the father?
I guess legally speaking in the system, yes. But just because things are legal doesn't necessarily mean it's right and fair. So, I mean, legally speaking, I think they're just going to look at the numbers and the facts and just be like, well, if you were the man, we would force you to do this too, and vice versa. I think they would just try to do it like that. In general, I mean, I think it would not be good either way. But yeah, I think looking at the quote unquote justice system that we exist in, they would probably kind of play it both ways, if that makes sense.
Okay. It sounds like you are all y'all are equal rights today. Kenny, do you have anything? Do I need to repeat the question?
Yeah, I missed the question.
Now that we're in a society where women no longer have federal right to abortion, I feel that there may be women having children that they do not want without any other option. If these women give up the child to the father after the child is born, should these women be required to pay child support?
No.
Okay. How come? What's your explain?
Well, because essentially she was forced to have the child, right? and the father actually wants the child if he's taking full custody. So no.
What about in the reverse case, where the father does not want a child, but generally does not have a right to make decision after conception? Should he be allowed? Should he be made to pay child support?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
How come?
Well, because that's different. Like, especially if are we in the same scenario like right now where she doesn't have the option to not have the child?
No, just generally.
Oh, general, but
Or
that's a different
or we could
scenario
say,
than
how
the.
about let's leave. I just brought that up because I feel like that's relevant for the conversation since it's recent to me. But let's say abortion is fully legal and a woman just have a child because she want to, but then she gives the child up. Or you know what? No, it's different because the scenario is supposed to be she doesn't want the child, which generally you would be able to solve with abortion. But since we no longer have federal right to that, they may be more difficult.
Yeah, like in one scenario, she's being forced to have. In one scenario, she's being forced to have the child. In the other scenario, she actually has agency. So I feel like those aren't the same situation.
I don't feel like they're the same, but I feel like they're similar.
Well,
in
I'll
that,
say yeah.
in
He's
that you
just
don't
supposed to
have
pay child
agency after a
support.
certain.
I think it's different because if either way, whether or not she does have the agency to have an abortion, like he knows that having sex with her can result in pregnancy. You know.
Okay, so his agency. So his agency stops at conception, and her agency stops at birth. Is that what you're saying?
Is it? I don't think that's what I'm saying.
I feel like it is.
Can you explain that a little more?
So a man has agency as far as controlling his future regarding having a child up until conception. The woman has agency up until she actually has the child. No.
I don't really see it. Are we still talking? I'm confused about which scenario because one, she can get an abortion and one, she can't.
Okay, this is a good moment for another commercial break. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. And if you guys have been watching, then you know I have a sponsor today. I'm proud to have my first sponsor. We're going to play my intro to break this up, and then we're going to get straight into my sponsor.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude on your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
Okay, guys, today we're being sponsored by...
The hell was that?
Huh? Oh, that was my intro.
Thank you, because I've never heard.
No, that's my intro. Today we're sponsored by Krispy Kreme donuts, guys. Again, if you want the softest, wettest, juiciest donuts, head down to Krispy Kreme and get yours. So let me reframe the question since now we are both confused.
Now I'm confused. Is correct, but go ahead.
Oh, so I played my intro, and then I have a sponsor from Krispy Kreme today on this video. So every hour I have to promote their donuts.
Are there still some left, Petty?
Yeah, I stopped eating them because people were calling me out for enjoying my life and eating sweet things, as if I just need to be strict on diet every single day, all day.
Okay, Petty, you remind me of a lot of my weird friends, and I think that's why I'm here. Okay.
Your what friends?
My weird friends. I'm just a part of a whole bunch of strange people, and I think you're one of them.
Do you have a Krispy Kreme referral code? Actually, the fruitcakes got me a free dozen donuts. If you guys remember, like months and months and months and months ago, and I used the Redeemer thing today. which is why we have free donuts today. But they do require a sponsor. Again, let me reiterate the question. So I'm going to ask the original question, and then we can go into the dustiness again, since there are new people here. A man doesn't want a woman to go through with a pregnancy. Later, he feels he shouldn't pay child support because she wanted the child and he didn't. Does he have a point? Explain. I'll let Kenny go first, since I think you answered this in the comments, and I was interested to see your answer.
Oh yeah, I think he has a point. Like there, like sucks to be you, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to pay child support if you impregnate a woman, and she keeps it.
I like that. He has a point. Suck it up. Sorry. Yep. Sucks. I think we're all team FTK here, apparently. Jamil, did you want to answer as well?
No, I mean I agree with Kenny. Like it sucks. Like you technically quote unquote have a point, but your decisions you have to be responsible for. So if you decided to engage in adult activity, these are the results. So now you have to deal with consequences, regardless of how you feel.
Adult activity, adult consequences. Okay, I'm going to pull this up because some people are saying that some people are claiming I'm not an ally to people who, ever since the second question, which we spent too much time on. Hello, Tiffany. The only point he has should have been left in his. I don't know what this means. I do not know what that means. But let me put this on screen here. Because people are thinking that I feel like men should have more say so in a woman's body. So I want to play my abortion video. It is quick. It is 9 seconds long. Actually, let me save that for the end of the live stream. Let's not play that right now. Adult activity waivers took black men out the home. I cannot confirm this, but I assume it's true. Why would someone on the internet lie? I'm going to put the next question on screen. If anyone has any final thoughts about this question, they may say them now. If not, I will be moving on. Going once. Going twice. Okay. The next question. A woman is caught cheating and her significant other and says her significant other should forgive her because he has cheated before. He refuses and reasons that it's worse when women cheat. Does he have a point? Explain. Left in his pants. Okay.
Hey, Petty. This is Lamb being hugged again.
Hello.
And he does not have a point whatsoever. Honestly, for me, I believe that if somebody has forgiven you for something that you've done, how dare you hold them accountable? Not hold them accountable, but how dare you hold a grudge against them because you've done it once before? You should be forgiven. Now, forget, never, but forgiven, most definitely.
Okay.
We're different. I think her forgiving him, that was her choice. Him having to forgive her, that's his choice. I don't believe in revenge cheating or say, oh, I did this for you before, so you had to do this for me. If you cheat and you forgive, if you cheat and I decide to forgive you, that was my choice, right? I'm not gonna hold it against you. And like it looks like she revenge cheated as a part of her forgiveness. I don't know if it's a revenge cheat. That's like, girl, if you decide to forgive someone, forgive them and move on and work on your relationship. I don't think he has a point when he says women, it's worse when women cheat, because that's dumb. Women are humans, men are human. We both make choices, good or bad.
Okay. Cantor.
I guess I'm well. When I first read the question, I was thinking like, was this back to back cheating, or like he cheated on her Either way, this seems really toxic. Regardless, it's just like, why are you cheating on each other? He doesn't have a point. It's not. It's not worse just because she cheated because she's a woman. Like, it's not worse. He can be mad. I mean, they both should have just broken up when he cheated. But I guess it was her choice to forgive him. It's a dumb choice, but
Dumb. Okay, I agree. Jamil.
No, he doesn't have a point. I think the idea of saying it's worse when women cheat is trying to like excuse his own cheating behavior or to make them seem like they're not equal. But he was trash for doing that anyway. So it's trash all around. It smells bad.
All right. Kenny.
I mean, the obvious answer is no. I agree with Lambie's husband that it is kind of messed up that she forgives him for cheating and he doesn't reciprocate that back. Like, if she can forgive your mistake, then you should be able to forgive her mistake. But to just answer the question, no, he has no point.
Okay. So, first of all, this question is disingenuous. She didn't catch her significant other cheating because we know that black men don't cheat. If she did, he has to be white. He has to be, because Lil Duval said black men don't cheat. So she says he should forgive her because he has cheated before, which I think we all agree is wrong. Me doing something bad, regardless of what it was prior in the relationship, and then us reconciling and deciding to move past it, does not, you don't get to, after we reconcile, you don't get to go back and pull from those arguments that we've had in the past and now make them fresh and new, assuming that we have reconciled. It don't sound like they have, like it really don't. He said his reasoning was it's worse when women cheat. Dumb. He could have said what I just said. Me doing something in the past and us making up doesn't justify you now doing something in the present. I do think it's hypocritical for him to now be on the other side and all of a sudden it's not okay to cheat. Cheating is bad. He does not have a point. He does not have a point at all. I think we can all agree.
I think that when men cheat, I'm sorry, and I'm generalizing, but like when men cheat, they're testing their limits because they know that you're going to forgive them. But it's not even like about like the cheating and my hurt feelings. Is really just about you putting my health in jeopardy. At least that would be the case for me. I think the more you forgive them, the more they tend to do it. And so, in this question, I suspect the woman is just like, I think the woman knows that it's over, but she's just like catching him back before she leaves.
So
or maybe that's what I'm thinking in my, that's what I would do as a Scorpio. I would just revenge.
So you don't think she is reconciled with him? You think she said she's over it and now she's getting her lick back?
Yeah, she's vendetta.
Do a mukbang.
I think that's fair, honestly.
Look, y'all need to.
I mean, it is fair. Like, he cheated. He really needs to just shut up about the cheating. Honestly,
Look.
Honestly, they just need to leave each other alone.
If you guys know anything about Full Metal Alchemist, then you know that this is simply equivalent exchange. You give and you get.
No, Teddy, this is not. How did you even tie that into it?
No, but I love that you brought up equivalent exchange.
He gave. Y'all ever heard energy is not ever lost or gained? It is transformed, and this is just the purest form of energy from one side of the relationship going to the other. And now you mad because the light has turned into heat or something. They both seem immature. Yes. Tiffany's going to finish Sandman. Good night, Tiffany. So yeah, at the very least, both of these people are toxic. But can I be mad at her if Yeah, I can, because as we described, they've already reconciled. So this is bad. But he don't get to say women cheating is bad. I think well, it is bad, but I think it comes from a misconception that women cheat emotionally or something like that, whereas men cheat physically, which ignores the fact that men can step outside of their relationship if they're not receiving the type of emotional labor from their partner or mental spiritual labor outside of just physical sex. Men can cheat for other things, as well as women can cheat for just physical needs. um so yeah, I think, let me not, I was thinking something like, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, don't women typically their libido increases as they age up till a certain point where it drops, and then whereas for men it like is very strong when you're young, but then it goes down when you're older? So what if you're in a relationship with a woman for a long time and you're a man and your libido is getting extremely low and you're just not putting it down like you used to, and so she wants to step outside of the marriage, and now this man is trying to say clearly the woman was cheating for emotional and mental reason, as women do, when in fact she could have just wanted somebody with a little more testosterone. um so yeah, I think that's a misconception, or at least my ex-girlfriend didn't cheat for emotions. This much I know. This much I know. She cheated for physical reasons. The next question before anyone comments on that. A woman breaks up. This is the last question, by the way. A woman breaks up with a man, and when he asks why, she says that she met someone better. Is that ever a valid reason to leave a relationship? Explain. We can start. Let's start with Kenny. Let's go backwards.
I think, of course, that's a valid reason to leave a relationship. You know, maybe they showed you something. As long as you didn't cheat on your man and you just, I guess better is vague, but I feel like that's a valid reason to leave a relationship. Like if someone makes you realize that the person you're with sucks, then yeah, you should dump them.
Okay, better is vague, but I will add clarification after everyone answers. Jamil.
Is it a valid reason? I guess it depends. From the perspective of the person that's being dumped, it doesn't seem valid. But I mean, your relationship is agreed upon the person, the equal interest in one another. So if she's like, I'm over you, she has a choice to say, I'm out. And that's valid on her part. It sucks. Like, I'm sure he's going to write a lot of poems about it and be hurt. But yeah, it's valid. Just sucks.
Poems. Not in my community. They gonna write some raps though, and they gonna record her argument on the phone to put at the beginning of their song. Cantor.
Um, I mean, it's a valid reason. Like, you can leave a relationship for whatever reason you feel is in your heart. It's a shady one because how would you know he's better unless you've been talking to him? But I mean, whatever reason you want to leave your relationship is valid. I don't like your shirt today, so I'm leaving. Like, I mean,
Whew.
it's stupid, but go ahead and leave, girl.
It's rough out here. His shirt was ironed. You never iron your. It's rough out here. You asked the question I was going to ask at the end, which is, how do you know she's better, or he in this case? How do you know he's better? Y'all been
It seems like, I mean, you wouldn't know he's better because how would you know him well enough to, unless it's like a close someone you've known for a really long time and you haven't seen them, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how she formulated the conclusion that he's better in what way. But I mean, it's a little shady, but go ahead.
Okay, keep that thought. A free.
Yeah, go for it. Go find what you need. Wherever that may be. I think I think that's better than cheating. Shit. I mean, I'd prefer you just leave, like, and then that way two of us can still be amicable. If we want to have friends, want to be friends later. That's way better than just cheating on me.
Okay. Um, Landby, you can go next. Then I'm gonna show you guys something, and then we can all open panel.
Yeah, there's never like if you want to leave, you can leave. It's not an invalid reason. Like I'm on Cantor's side. Like, well, how do you know he's better unless there was something going on? Because that was the first thought that came to my head. Like, she was cheating, but she can leave a relationship. He can leave the relationship whenever they want if they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. So go ahead.
Okay. Um, I cannot find what I'm looking for, but you guys may have heard recently. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up. My computer is just not acting right today. Well, there was a man recently, and he and his this is related to the question, by the way. He and his girlfriend got married, and he's like a life coach of sorts, and he made a very inspirational post. He said, um, something like, "Your teeth are raggedy and yellow, but I wasn't looking for a woman with the best hygiene. I was looking for you. And your hair is, wow, just raggedy and messed up all the time. But I wasn't looking for a woman with the best hair. I was looking for you. And your feet are kind of big. Like you look like you play football or something with these feet. But I wasn't looking for someone with the most feminine feet. I was looking for you." And he just described her flaws a lot. Like he described her flaws a whole lot. But he persevered. And today I'm here to ask, why don't you women want to labor for your man? How dare you break up with a man just because you found someone better? You need to stay in that relationship and struggle with that man as a woman should, I feel. And that's just my thoughts about it. How do you guys feel about that?
The thing is, like, if you think that I'm inadequate, you can just go, man. And somebody else, there's like 8 billion people on Earth. You think somebody won't find me attractive? Like, you think I'm the only person? Like, your perception of me is the only thing that matters? I don't understand what's happening with that.
Maybe this will help you guys understand. Let me pull this up for you guys.
Happy anniversary to the love of my life. She's not the most beautiful woman, and she's definitely not the most intelligent. In fact, if you ask her what is 2 plus 2, she will say carrots. But I wasn't looking for a woman who could count to 10 or even spell her own name. I was looking for her. Whenever she comes back from work, the woman will be smelling, God forbid bad thing. Her armpit will be smelling like the armpit of a walking goat. But I wasn't looking for a woman with the best hygiene. I was looking for her. Her cooking is also not the best. If you taste her cooking now, you will surely vomit. But I was not looking for the best cook. I was looking for her. My dear Jennifer, in case you didn't hear me just now, I say you are not the prettiest, neither are you the smartest, but I will have to manage for now. You are like one of my homeboys, except your beard is much fuller than their own. To my mumu woman, I love you. Happy anniversary.
Wow. Amazing. Someone who finally, an example of a man who is going to struggle with his woman.
That was just so deep, and oh my gosh, I'm just in awe. Wow.
Thank you. I'm shedding tears. Wow.
Beautiful. That was immaculate right there. That was just, words couldn't have been arranged.
Regarding this question, I actually felt a certain type of way until I realized it said she breaks up with a man, implying they're not married. That y'all are dating. She found someone who. So this implies that when Cantor said, "How does she know this other man is better?" I assume no, they're in a relationship because they're breaking up. So it's not just dating; it's a relationship. But this implies to me that it's not as serious as a marriage. And even if it is a very serious relationship, better is vague. Kenny did say better is vague. Better how? Do they better adhere to your values and standards and expectations in a relationship? I would leave. Um, yeah, I assume if the reasons are not superficial, generally, I think it's okay to leave a relationship, even though I think it's okay to leave a relationship even for superficial reasons. Just leave. Just leave.
Just
Like
leave.
women,
Just go.
leave. Divorce. If y'all are married, get a divorce this
I
year.
mean
I don't
that
even care.
goes for men too. I mean, especially that goes especially for men because men they have a. I feel like I'm generalizing a lot, but like a lot of heterosexual men, they have this tendency to want to juggle several different women at once, and it's like don't do that. Like you're putting me at risk for your BS. Just go, man. Just go. Say that she got bigger boobs than me or whatever the case may be. Whatever your version of better is, just go after that and be happy.
Why would the reason matter? You want some who don't want you. Do you guys think the reason matters when, as the person being broken up with, do you think the reason matters?
No, the person wants to. Okay, if it doesn't matter because I'm looking at somebody who doesn't want me every morning. I'm sleeping in the bed with somebody who doesn't want me. I'm talking to somebody every day. Be trying to be in a good mood with that person who doesn't want me. What does it matter? Their reason. They don't want me. So just leave. Just be on your way. So I can find somebody better. If the reason why you're leaving me is because of something like, oh, I don't know, like the person has bad hygiene or something like that. Okay, well, thank you for giving me something to reflect on. From now on, I will use a different type of soap or something like that. But if you still want to leave, then go ahead and leave. Like that's better than putting my life at risk. Because when you go and cheat and sleep with all these other people, like you're bringing back spirits and diseases, or potentially bringing back diseases. Like that's better. You leaving is better than me having to tolerate you and your BS.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. My husband said he would want to know the reason just for self-improvement to be better for the next person. But if it's something superficial, it doesn't matter. But if it's something like
He's taller than you. Y'all know they got length increasing surgeries where they break your legs and put them back together longer. Look, if I had money, y'all, look, let me tell y'all something. If I could change this 4'8" to a 5'1", best believe I would. Best believe the reason I ain't never stood up on camera is because I'm the
You're not
same height
4'8".
standing. Let me get up.
4'8". You be
I know
lying.
he ain't no 4'8". I am done.
I'm standing up currently. Let me sit back down.
First it was the Beyonce song under the Richard whatever, and then now he 4'8". I ain't got time.
Nobody
I'm a
knows who
Also
this man is. We still went looking at him, but we still don't know who he is.
Because he's
also
still, I don't
16
know,
and has been
he
drinking
janitor
on
1 or
camera.
2, or I
We
don't
don't know
know.
if he's janitor 1. We don't know if he's 17 years old.
You
We
guys
don't
want to
know.
do a honest Q&A with me? Maybe tomorrow morning. I will answer all questions honestly, but I will
When he
privately
say
line
tomorrow
after.
morning, he's probably talking about like 3 a.m. when everyone's asleep.
Whew, she called me. No, maybe like 12 or something, midday. Why would the reason matter? You want someone who don't want you. I assume so. I assume I'm happy and they not. If it's a person who maybe it's just the perfect woman to be. This is who I want to date. Obviously, there's a woman like her out there somewhere. Let me know what transgression I committed to make you leave me, so that I know whether I want to, so that I can improve on it if I want to. Yeah, for the next person, for self improvement. If you don't, I'm gonna ask my therapist. What do you think it was? Was it the way I didn't brush my teeth for 3 months? I thought they naturally cleaned themselves. Don't know. Stand up. I actually just did stand up. I don't think y'all believe me though, but it's fine. But it's fine. The monster surgery. Okay, guys. So I think we are all done answering the questions.
Can any other man? Oh, you know what? Never mind.
No, please ask the men. We are here to serve.
I didn't get to hear the men talk too much. Do you guys have an argument for why single mothers choose to be single mothers as opposed to it happening to them?
I would
Do you have an
assume
argument
that
for it being a choice?
I have an argument that I don't believe in. I think the argument is as simple as you didn't get an abortion, honestly. So you knew I sucked and I wasn't going to be around for your baby, but like you still went through with it. So in their mind, you chose it, which is stupid, but that's what I think the belief is.
Okay, Jamil, if you wanted to come in, you could too.
Can you ask the question one more time? I'm sorry.
So the question is single motherhood a choice, or is it something that happens to you? Like it's not a choice.
Gotcha. I think generally speaking, it's something that happens to you. Because I don't think at the end of the day anybody really wants to raise kids by themselves. I understand that there are some women who do, but I think that's, from my understanding, it's usually a result of the men that they're in a relationship with, or the experiences that they've had or seen with men who don't take care of their children, or they're not good to their significant others or the mothers of their children. Yeah, I think it's usually something that happens to women rather than it actually being a choice. But I do understand that there are some women who do make that choice just because they, have had bad experiences and men are just garbage to them.
Is that satisfactory to you, or free? Oh, okay. We're going to, since I believe that this is about to get dusty, we're going to go into the after show. Free couldn't handle the heat. I think Free had to go, but I'm going to quickly bring us into the after show, and then we can be dusty with separation from the rest of the dusty conversation. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for everybody who came up. My name is Prince Petty. This has been Man with a Mic.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude on your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
Okay. So Kenny, you believe that the argument is because a woman does not get, not that this is your personal argument, but because a woman does not get an abortion when she has, assuming she has the legal right to, then she takes partial blame as far as being a single mother.
Where did that hat come from?
I thought you said that. You said it's not my personal argument, but I believe the argument.
No, I asked where the hat came from.
Oh, what do you mean?
Okay, never mind. Ask your question again.
So the question was, you posed this. Your understanding of the argument is because women have the option to get abortion, assuming the man is a bad person and she knows this, or he switches up after she becomes pregnant or whatever, and she does not use her option to get an abortion, then she takes some partial responsibility for being a single mother.
I think their logic, of course, not mine, because I think that's ridiculous, but I think their logic is that you actually take full responsibility because you could have gotten rid of my child, but you decided to raise it on your own.
Okay. I'm not going to provide argument here. Did I ignore? My bad. Did I ignore a question you asked, Kenny? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I asked you where did that hat come from, and you went back into the question. I think that's what they're talking about.
Okay, interesting. I don't know what that's about. With that being said, does anyone have Any thoughts on any of the questions before I give a quick breakdown of what's going on with the channel tomorrow? Going once.
Oh,
I
for that
just
question,
like
I did. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Any
I
of the
just like how
questions?
you just left and came back with the hat on and just sat down like nothing happened. I cannot.
Who said that was Cantor?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Is Pickle Rick here today because it's Dusty Questions Day?
I realized that in choosing the pineapple as my moniker, that there are several other things I have with the letter P around my home, including one of them being Pickle Rick, and one of them being the panda, and one of them being, of course, Prince Petty. And then I do have, like the Pickle Rick here, I do have a purple pickle around the house as well. I'm not sure where it is. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Why not a bonnet? A bonnet in public? Haven't y'all heard the bonnet debate? That's ghetto, apparently, according to black women, who I will not correct because that's not my place. Let's go back to that question that I really, really had issue with your answers with. So y'all do not see an issue with this type of information being withheld in your marriage from your partner.
No, like if it's happened, if it's not gonna do anything but cause like more trauma in the relationship, why would I even like? I don't
If your
think
husband cheat on you, but he don't get an STD, nobody gets pregnant, and he doesn't tell you, and everything continues as normal in the house, you're unaware that he cheated. Should he disclose it to you? If since it's not affecting you.
Well, if his guilt is getting to him, he needs to keep it to himself and be guilty and use that as his punishment.
I feel
His
like you
life.
answered that question in a way so that you could avoid what I was doing.
Well, I'm gonna answer like if he's feeling his guilt and it's building up on him and he just wants to like ruin my happy blissfulness, then no, keep it to yourself and be guilty and be miserable in your guilt as your punishment.
So you want to be ignorant if your husband cheat on you, assuming he's not bringing back STDs or children or angry women.
Like I wouldn't want to be with my husband if he cheated on me. So the moment he tell me that he cheated, the relationship would be over.
Um,
But this is the different question because they're going through a rough patch. If we're like, going through a rough patch,
remove the rough patch. Remove the rough patch. My apologies. Remove the rough patch. This was a deliberate lie. If we're no, he is not lying to you. I assume if you ask him if he cheated, he'll tell you, but you never asked, so he never brought it up.
That's still a lie. That's a lie of omission.
But abortion and not telling your husband about it is not a lie.
Oh no, I said in the chat that I thought that was messed up.
Okay, I'm with Kenny.
And like I said, like if it comes out and he finds out and then he's upset about it, I cannot be mad at him for his feelings because I think his feelings will be valid.
Ooh.
Right? I said that because this does go back to trust and the foundation of it. Like if you cheated on me, then I find out about it. My feelings of anger, even if it happened a long time ago in the beginning of our relationship, my feelings of anger are valid in that moment, and it will question the trust, the foundation of trust in our relationship will come into question. But like, I don't necessarily think it's the abortion thing because of the question itself. I didn't think it was a lie or like this thing that the whole marriage is built on lies.
Okay.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I was just gonna. Well, Lan doesn't have to answer or anything, but isn't it? You don't think it's kind of messed up that would have been like, assuming he doesn't have like baby mamas or whatever, like that would have been his firstborn child. You got rid of it without telling him, and even when the relationship got good enough for you to get married and go down the altar, like not once before that did you tell him, like, I've had an abortion, just to be just to have full disclosure.
I don't like. I think, like Concern has said, this is a topic of like the discussion of going in and a woman deciding to have an abortion. And like we said, like even if it's in the concept of the question, that rough patch of we're not known or going to be together or not, and we make up later, I don't even think bringing it up would be an issue or anything. I even asked my husband, like, would you be upset? He's like, I would rather you not ever tell me about it.
Quick question. Would the scenario be different if it was a miscarriage rather than an abortion?
You're asking me or Lan?
If I didn't
Uh,
if I didn't tell my husband I had a miscarriage.
yeah, and it was open for the panel, so anybody could comment because in that situation, technically the child is lost either way. But I'm curious to know, like for you, Prince Petty, like would your response be different if it was a miscarriage?
My thoughts on the dishonesty does not change. Um, yeah, no, I don't think my thoughts change.
I actually think lying about the miscarriage or not disclosing the miscarriage is more reasonable because you had no control over that.
Lan, you want to answer that question?
Um, that one's harder. Like, I don't know about the miscarriage. I think it's all this in the same. It's the same to me.
So, regarding the question on screen, did we agree on being exclusive? Agreeing not to sleep with other people and him sleeping with other people is not the same as me getting rid of a couple of cells from my body. I would assume, hopefully, if y'all have defined boundaries about being exclusive, which generally I don't think people even define those boundaries. I think people expect those naturally. I don't think people get into a relationship and say, "Hey, I have a boundary regarding loyalty. I need you to not cheat on." Like, I don't think people generally have that conversation so explicit. I think there's a silent expectation to be loyal to your partner in the same way that I think there's a silent expectation to communicate with your partner, especially about a big event, which I consider abortion. Um, and then below that, I don't have to tell him if I go to a dermatologist to get a mole removed. If before marriage we just agree on disclosing all medical information from our whole life, then that would be a lie. If your husband feels the same way about getting a mole about abortion as he does getting a mole removed, which I don't think people generally think that's a big deal, um, sure, then I agree in that case. But I agree. If y'all agree on disclosing certain medical information prior to the marriage, then yes, I feel like you should disclose it. If not, then I cannot be mad at someone for not disclosing it, assuming the reason they don't disclose it is because they didn't think it was a big deal, or they didn't think I cared about it, or that I wanted them to tell me. Um,
Just to be clear, I don't think she has to disclose her abortion, her like past abortions to you. It's only the fact that you later married this man and he has like I don't even think it reflects poorly on her character. I just think she should tell him. And if he doesn't suck, he should stick around.
that's all I want. Like, communicate with me. Are you obligated to tell me you got a mole removed? No. Um, I just I'd like you to. I mean, generally, I'm probably not going to care, and it's not going to matter at all. But I'd like to at least communicate stuff generally. Um, do y'all not communicate in y'all relationship? Because the way y'all are defining that's her and her thing, and it don't affect him, so why should they talk about it? I'm like, should y'all talk about anything at all in the marriage besides? I feel like you should be communicating generally in a marriage, even if you don't have a strict obligation to communicate. Um, I don't know. I'm not married,
Yep. Me
so
personally, I guess if I'm just talking about myself and not other people, because I don't really know what other people should or shouldn't do. I'm not in their relationship. But if I was going to be with someone, I would hope it's someone that, well, I know it would be someone that I would be willing to tell everything to. So, I mean, I wouldn't hide it. I don't, at the same time, I wouldn't be asking permission to get the abortion.
Right.
I don't need permission. I just want to be in the loop. That's all.
I mean, I would tell them. I don't have an issue with that. I don't know other people's situation. There could be situations where maybe it is better for them not to. So I don't know.
Hope, come on up. I will drag you. Do y'all not communicate your boundaries and expectations? Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I do, which is why I have an issue with this.
And that's great for your partner to know because you will communicate your boundaries and expectation. But then again, even that question would go back to the boundaries and expectations within that person's relationship and what they would deem a lie or deceit and what they would deem okay, whatever that happened. You don't have to tell me every detail of your life.
Like I
I'd
said
say I
before,
commute.
oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, sorry.
No, go
I'd
ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'd say that I definitely communicate expectations, but sometimes you don't even know that you have a boundary that you have until it's been crossed, and then that's when you set the boundary. So I would say that I don't always communicate my boundaries because sometimes I don't even know what they are.
I was just going to say, like I said before when we were discussing the question prior, I would assume that you would have a conversation before getting married about what kind of stuff you need to know about each other ahead of time. Like, I don't know, maybe that's not something that everyone does anyway. I don't know.
I don't think it is. Generally, particularly when I think about the way that men date. Maybe this is anecdotal, and I've just been looking at the manosphere too long. But there, it's like they're purposefully disingenuous in leaving the boundaries around the relationship ambiguous. So that, for example, when the baby cheated on Danny Lee, and she was like, "How could you do this? How could you cheat on me?" And he was like, "Cheat? We're not together. Just because we, what's that? Oh, just because we have a child together and we hang out around each other's families, and you came to Thanksgiving last year, and we lay up cuddled every night, and we're having sex all the time. I never said we were in a relationship. Like the way in which I see people date is like they purposefully leave the definitions of the relationship unsaid and ambiguous. So I don't generally think people define even just exclusivity in a relationship. I think it's generally the opposite.
You
Um,
know,
He
you know,
sucks, but I
I
don't
guess.
think that. Go ahead, Cancer. Sorry, I cut you off
Uh,
again.
oh no. I was just gonna say. I guess maybe I'm a little different because maybe I'm just not trusting in people because I be asking all kinds of questions like, "What do you even count as cheating?" Because if their definition of cheating is different from mine, I'm like, "Well, that's a problem."
I don't think. See, here's the thing. I don't think people do that, even when they do talk about cheating. Hey, you're not going to cheat on me, right? You're going to be faithful to me, and he says yes. I think most women would agree that he's saying that he's not going to sleep outside the relationship. But it might be some men out there who, like you said, you asked for clarification. What do you think cheating is? It might be some men out there who are going to say having sex with a woman is not cheating because a man cheats. Sex is different for a man because men don't have feelings with sex or something like that. Um, so I think asking like the clarifying questions that you're saying you ask are extra, and these should be unsaid. These are like things that you assume going into the relationship generally. Like you don't ask a question about every single thing in a relationship. um I don't think you can cover every single thing that you have a boundary around in a relationship. And like Kenny said, sometimes you don't even know that there are boundaries that you had until they are crossed. Like I think it's I think it's unrealistic.
No, I understand not always knowing what your boundaries are, because sometimes you don't know something until it happens. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe I just don't trust people.
No,
Because
you're
I'm
not.
over here asking all kinds of questions like, okay, so what do you count as cheating? And like, first of all, what do you even see as exclusive? Because I guess my definition of exclusive is not what it is now. So,
I
No,
think more people will benefit from thinking like you.
Cantor, you're not alone. I'm asking all questions before we decide anything. And in a moment, I'm like, okay, so we want to go into a monogamous relationship. These are the rules I define. We're going to have all those questions because I do not want to any miscommunication. Maybe it is a trust thing, but
What I'm trying to say is not about being specific and defining your boundaries. I'm about thinking that you have to define that. Like the way I was like, how could you not tell me about the abortion? And everybody here, well, most of y'all here were like, that's not your business. Why do you even care? It's like, that's not even something someone else was like, you should have said in the beginning of the relationship that that's something you care about. I feel like that should just be known that I would care about something like that and that I shouldn't have to define the boundary around that. So maybe that is maybe okay, yeah. So you guys are right to be scrutinizing your partner in the beginning and defining yourself. Otherwise, something will slip through the crack like that.
I feel like there are things that are a given. Like, obviously, if I get into a committed relationship with you, then I don't expect you to cheat on me, you know? So I agree with your logic, actually.
Yeah, it's like I didn't expect you to have an abortion during our relationship and never bring it up ever. I feel like it's commonplace to discuss and communicate these things. So it feels like a gaslight. Like, let me replace the abortion with cheating again. Oh, you didn't want me to cheat on you in this relationship? You never defined that boundary. I had to. I'm my bad. Um, okay.
I
Go
do
ahead.
think there's an sorry. I think there's an important distinction though, because to be fair, I'm sure women have found themselves in situations where they've aborted a baby and they don't want to tell their partner because they don't know how they'll react. And to be completely honest, men don't always react in a reasonable way. Like dumping her after that would be reasonable, but like, you know, we all know that way worse can happen after you admit something like that.
I understand that fear, but and I actually, if my partner came to me and said that again later down the line, remember earlier I was saying if my partner came to me and was like, "This was a heavy decision that I didn't have the heart to tell you until now," or I didn't feel it was appropriate to tell you, or I didn't know it was a big deal. A lot of these I feel are okay, assuming I haven't expressed my boundary around this because they all seem like valid reasoning. But I lost my thought. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. What did you say, Kenny? This hat is squeezing my head.
no, I, no, I just agreed with you on the idea that like there are certain things you would expect a partner to be able to be honest with you about, especially if you've never given a sign that you know you'll have a crazy or even like physically um, a physical reaction to it or anything. But I've actually been in a situation where someone has had a physical reaction to me over something that was completely unwarranted. So that's why I give it a bit of grace. Because it's like you never know how someone's going to react to that. And if you're in a good place now, maybe you shouldn't bring it up. It's just my opinion that you should be able to be honest about that.
If you have fear about your partner doing something to you, I don't feel like you should be with them. The
That's fair.
implication is that there was fear when when you were getting the abortion, which I think is valid. If now the fear is gone to the point where we are comfortable enough to continue our relationship and get married, which I hope the fear would be gone if we're comfortable to do that, um, then I don't understand. There are
Me
grown men.
neither, but I'm not a woman. So that's where I give a little
Fair,
bit of grace.
fair point. I'm not a woman and never will be. Maybe my feelings around this situation are invalid. Um, because you are a man and don't know how personal and heavy the decision will be. I'm not going to play my abortion video because now we're coming up to 3 hours. But I would hope that even though I'm unable to share what it feels like to have an abortion, hopefully my opinion is valid, and hopefully I had a good take on my thoughts on abortion in my video, which you guys should go check out. Promote yourself, know your worth. Because you are a man and don't know how heavy the decision could be. What was the other one? There are grown men who get grossed out by period talk, and they have been married for 30 years and have 5 kids. So I think what she's saying is, let's say the abortion was a period, because you don't know what your partner is going to react like, you shouldn't talk about your period. I feel like you shouldn't be with that man if you cannot talk about your period. In the same way, I feel like you shouldn't be with a man if you're afraid of what his reaction might be if you get an abortion. But then there's also, I don't think it's best to invalidate a woman's fear, even if she's with a quote unquote good guy who's not going to be aggressive. There's still the fear there, right? Since we don't know how to vet, but we learned. Your feelings are valid. The control or entitlement is not. I hope I don't seem entitled or controlling. I just want to know. The decision is yours to make. I'm your partner. I feel like we should communicate these things to each other. Generally, like if it's something that I feel is a big decision, which I feel abortion is, I feel like generally we should be talking about these within the relationship, even if I have like no input on the decision, which I'm fine with since it's not my body. What hat? See, my head hurts so much. I'm out here imagining I got a hat on. Like I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon. It is what it is. I have told partners I will abort unplanned pregnancy before intimacy because of my health condition. Ironically, they all wanted to keep this fictitious child. I feel like people gonna say they want to keep the child until you're pregnant, based on what I've seen in person. These men are gonna say they want to keep the child and then you get pregnant. And huh? The Mr. Krabs looking around meme. So guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this before I say anything controversial about abortion. If you feel entitled to that information, organize and change the law. My morality is not governed by the law, so I don't feel that I have to change it in order for you to make what I feel like is a morally good decision to communicate with your partner, or just respect you may not know everything about a woman. That's valid too. The pre-begging, fictitious fetuses.
Can I ask the women a question?
Sure.
I just wanted, they don't have to answer, obviously, like they can just dump me if they want. But I just wonder if you think that's a valid opinion to have, that maybe you should just be told about it. Or do you think that because of how men are, like we've seen men, not even just black men, like we've seen white men have like 3 kids and then kill their wife over an abortion. So do you think that's a valid fear, if that makes sense?
This one was for the ladies.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh no, it's no problem. I was just asking, I'll shorten it. If you feel like the fear is valid, not that you think that, because in the situation it's your husband, obviously, and I think you're both married, but if just say men in general, if you think that admitting to an abortion plays a threat into your, or poses a threat to your safety.
For some people, it could, like, you never really know. So I can understand why someone would be afraid to for that reason.
I feel like if you went to a therapist and told them that you have a fear of your partner, that would be something that you and your therapist would try to work through, as opposed to saying this is rational.
See, I agree with that, but I feel like that's a fear of the unknown. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it's not rational every time a sketchy van pulls up next to me that I think they're going to jump out and murder me. But like, I still question that when they pull up next to me.
A sketchy van, no, but your mom's car with her license plate, is it reasonable to expect that when you see your mom's car pull up, that a random man is going to jump out and kidnap you? In the same way, while I understand having this fear in the early stages of a relationship, when you're well into a relationship, I don't know that I can rationalize it without saying that it's. I would actually rationalize what you're saying, is what I'm saying, because you don't know who's in the white van or what's about to happen. But I think in my case, it would be your friend or your mother's car pulling up, someone you know.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, I still agree that he should be given the information. It's just I'm not sure how much the consequences of that might play into a woman's decision to be like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you because you never know.
So are they ever going to have any meaningful discussion about having a child at all? Is she just going to pop up with a child one day because she don't want to tell him she's pregnant? Because what if he, like, this feels irrational in a long-term marriage.
I mean,
When did you have a child? Oh, a few months ago. I didn't let you know because you know how men switch up and kill people. If that's a fear I have in a long-term marriage, I do not feel like this is a marriage I should be in.
Well, there are people who are in bad marriages with like toxic people, or they're being abused, and they stay in those marriages for either religious reasons, or they have a self-esteem issue, or they don't know how to get out, or they are being financially like separated from being able to leave right away. So I mean, like I said, I don't know everyone's situation, so it could be a valid reason
Yeah, it
to not
could.
tell someone, but that doesn't mean that the relationship is good. That just means that like some people just might
In a
be afraid
in a
to say
lengthy
something for that reason.
in a lengthy healthy marriage, because I agree with you. In a lengthy healthy marriage, I think it's irrational. But for the reasons you listed, I think it can be valid, even if you're in a lengthy marriage.
But some marriages are healthy until they're not, you know?
Okay, I agree.
Not even to push back on you. I still agree with you that it should be disclosed, but I can't help but think like, yeah, because I can be a paranoid person, so I can only imagine trying to tell someone that you aborted their child.
Like, I could open the door tomorrow and my mom shoot me. Whoa, where did that come? Like, it's possible,
Nah,
yeah.
that's not a fair comparison because I would never expect my mother to murder me.
I would never expect my long-term partner to murder me if I'm in a healthy relationship.
Right? It's about a level of.
But they do.
Huh?
I don't know if there are as many stories of women killing their full-grown sons as there are men killing their wives.
That's fair.
For arbitrary reasons.
Okay. So do you think it's right for men to have this type of fear in the relationship regarding not disclosing big things to their partner for fear of maybe being killed? Or
I think that's a little bit different. Only because like I remember there was this recent story of this white woman poisoning her black husband into a coma. But there were plenty of signs, like her whole TikTok showed she was basically insane. So it's different to me. I feel like the signs are more there for men, but I could be wrong about that.
the hat was too tight. Sorry. I'm trying not to read the comments. Can you say what you said again, Kenny? I had to remove the hat.
You mean what I just said about the guy?
Yes.
Getting murdered by his wife?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a story of this black guy being put in a coma by his wife, but there were a bunch of TikToks and like Facebook posts where she was like, I love you so much, I want to kill you. I hate you, but I want to kill you. Like she was doing a lot. I think it might have been Cynthia, actually. I don't know if it was Cynthia or someone else, but I know I saw a few days ago. And the signs were very clear that like she did not have this best man's interest at heart. And I feel like with men, they will kind of convince you that they care about you enough to not do that, and then only to end up doing worse. Like they will take their own children out to get back at you.
So you think in a relationship, women are more openly show their red flag abuse, stuff like that, than men do?
Actually, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. I will have to think more on that.
I mean, yeah, I kind of, because I feel like men also give off many red flags, obviously.
I don't think I'd make a distinction generally among genders as far as. Actually, I would. Yeah, I do think men are more inclined to hide it. Generally, I haven't thought about it within the context of a relationship, but within the context of something like dating, I do think men are more disingenuous with their approach, as I said earlier. So it would make sense that this is reflected also in a relationship. So I don't know. I'll have to think on that. Oh, we're at the 3-hour mark, guys. That means we are due for another promotion, guys. I'm going to play a quick intro again, and then we can get straight into the promotion.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude in your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
Bars. Guys, again, this video, if you don't know by now, is sponsored by Krispy Kreme Donuts. If you're looking for a soft, wet, juicy donut, then you're looking for Krispy Kreme. The box won't open right now because the box closes so well, guys. If you're worried about spilling your donuts, not anymore. Krispy Kreme definitely has the closed boxes that will not open for anything. Wow, I don't even think I'll be able to finish them, guys. I don't think it's ever going. There we go. There are a few left in there, guys. If you want some soft, wet, juicy, fat donuts, go to Krispy Kreme and get you some crispy donuts. With that being said, I'm going to quickly go and get my instrument. I'm going to leave. Jamil seems like a trustworthy guy. You know what? Kenny seems like a more trustworthy guy. Sorry, Jamil. Well, I'm going to leave it to you to close us out.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. If you have any thoughts on any of the questions asked previously, yeah, this is your chance.
I didn't like that. Jamil, you give it a try. Give it a try, Jamil. Close us out.
Sure. Well, thank you all for attending Prince Petty's live of Dustiness. We appreciate our sponsor, Krispy Kreme, for this wonderful evening. We appreciate everyone for participating. And hopefully everyone gets home safely while you are in your bedrooms or homes or whatever. And enjoy the rest of your evening. And I think we have a piece, was it a didgeridoo selection for the end of this evening? Is that correct?
Yeah. I think you missed this, Jamil, but while you're here, Themis asked, can you do an impression of him? Do you have a voice acting history?
I am not good at certain what is that, accents?
Okay.
So I would not want to be disrespectful to the people of Jamaica. So I will not do that out of respect for him and all people alive.
And all people alive. See, Kenny, now I don't mean to throw shade, but the way in which this man just closed us out, for some reason, I feel like this should now be the Jamil show. And I will change the title, and Jamil will just host it.
I don't have any voice acting credits, so he actually has a severe advantage over me. He's used to this scenario, so
and
not
we heard it.
Jamil.
Someone has said I'm sexist for picking two men. One of the women like to close us out for a final, last and final time. Going once. Going. See, this is the issue, ladies. The women just don't step up for opportunities like the men do. This is the problem with you women. Let me put me back over here. This is the problem with women these days. They don't take initiative. They expect a man to approach them in public. It should be the woman approaching the man. It should be the woman proposing, getting down on one knee. But y'all are not ready to hear that. Y'all are not ready to hear that. The reason I had this on the screen earlier, guys, is because we're doing the Sandman review tomorrow, and I think this is him.
Oh, it's like,
No.
oh, shit. It was funny.
Why do you have?
Well, we're doing Sandman tomorrow, guys. This is the Sandman. If you've never watched the show before,
Is
this
it the same guy or?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No.
That is
I
Sandman.
thought the other guy looked a little different.
Are you sure that's the same guy?
I don't think that's the same
Yes.
guy.
It's the Twilight guy.
That's Robert Patterson.
Yeah, Sandman.
That's
Wait.
not Sandman.
I'm Googling it.
Are y'all team Edward or Jacob? I need to know now.
Neither.
Neither.
What does that mean?
Put your
Definitely Team Edward.
chin back up.
Thank
please.
you, Team Edward.
Jacob.
Your team Jacob?
Yep.
Who said that? Jamil?
Yes.
He imprinted on a child.
Thank
Yeah, I mean
you.
they're all terrible. But I think for what was Edward? He's like 124 or something like that, and he still acted like a teenage boy in his relationship with what's her face? I think they're both bad. I would choose Jacob over. At least he had the reason of like, oh, I'm also a teenager.
Well,
making bad decisions.
I thought all of the characters were just ick. Bella was Edward was and Jacob, he was until he imprinted on that child. I was with Jacob, but then he imprinted on a child, a baby, and I was like, okay, now they're all just terrible people. I am not here for any one of them.
Edward to me Jacob to me feel like a nice guy, like the personification of a nice guy. Like, Bella, I'm such a nice guy. Can't you just date me and leave these bad boys alone? Where's my banner? Hold up. Where's my goddamn banner? My banner it's gone. Oh, here it is. I'm such a nice guy, but these girls only want bad boys. They don't want a nice guy like me. Women only want assholes. Guys, this is what Jacob gives.
Also, he's not in Sandman.
He's not anti-vax?
No, he's not in Sandman. That's Tom Sturridge.
Tom who? Porridge?
Sturridge. I don't know who he is either, but it's not Robert Patterson.
This is not the Sandman. The movie I'm doing.
No,
Just because they are pale does not make them the same person.
Right, they look a little bit alike.
Did you guys know they actually went to school? Like they were close colleagues. I think Robert Pattinson, the guy who's Sandman, and the guy who's Andrew Garfield, the second Spider-Man. Apparently, they are all colleagues, and they all have this angsty look about them. Let me pull up the other guy. But yeah, I brought this up to say I'm doing a Sandman review tomorrow. No gaslighting here. What? And I hope you guys will be there. I hope you guys did your let me pull up an image of the Sandman. Y'all are saying this is not him.
No.
You are not him. You are not him. Well, I'm trying to pull him up. I just don't see it. Are y'all sure this is not the Sandman on screen?
They don't really look completely alike anyway. Like other than being like really pale, that like they don't really look alike.
Here's another one.
Yeah. No, that's not this. That's the guy I put in the private chat.
Tom Sturridge.
You're racist against white people because they don't even look that much alike.
What? I gotta show y'all something. So this is Sandman that I have on screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Is this your king? This is the man you call the king of dreams? This is him?
Who
This is who
calls him
y'all
that?
worship.
Why are you doing this?
Who
Huh?
calls him that?
Who calls him king? Literally, he's the Sandman. He's the king of dreams.
He
Everybody
is
calls
the
him that.
Sandman, but I've never called him that.
This is the man y'all call king. That's the new. Wait, he's Batman? Sandman is Batman, guys. I'm learning something new today.
No, Robert Patterson or Edward is the new Batman.
So instead of reaching out to everybody else,
Was that picture giving Batman? Was it giving Sandman, the one I just showed?
I understand.
It was giving guys sitting on a bed. Like, I don't.
Okay. Other than that, some clarity about what's going to happen to the channel. I'm gonna do a Q&A tomorrow. I'll make it public. And we can do a Q&A so I can get to know my audience and my audience can get to know me, because Themis brought it to my attention yesterday. He don't know what's the truth and what's a lie. So you guys will have some clarity tomorrow afternoon. And then later in the day, we'll be doing the Sandman review. I hope everyone did the homework. And then as far as where the channel is going, as I did research for Sandman to put together my outline for tomorrow, I'm sitting here like, wait, why am I doing research? Like, when did I start doing movie and TV show reviews? And I realized that the fruitcakes then muscled me, strong armed me into doing some movie. Like, I was really thinking, because I was doing research this morning and I was like tired. It felt like I was doing college level essay prep. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I reviewing movies? When did this happen? I don't know why, but for some reason I have been strong-armed into this. I'm going to be stopping movie reviews moving forward. I do not think that is what I want to do on my channel, because the idea of the movie review in the first place, I think, was to have catty discussion, which I don't feel like I should be researching for. Like, we're supposed to be getting up and having a general discussion with each other about how the movie and TV series is, and I don't want to do research for that. Now, if I'm doing a video essay like Jabaro, which requires research and in-depth analysis and discussion about a show, that's different. But as far as doing a live stream on the show, I'm like, why am I doing research? We're supposed to be just a relaxed conversation. And apparently fangirling over Tom Porridge, or whoever the young man's name was, the new Batman. We're supposed to be apparently fangirling over him. Aside from that, I think... So Sundays, I think I'm going to be doing live stream still. I like the idea of people coming up and giving their ideas on things, which I generally don't get other people's perspective on issues. So I will be doing a live stream once a week on Sunday, which will be like regular live streams that I do, not messy questions. Messy questions will be random, generally probably on... No, not Dusty Discussions. Generally Saturday night maybe, or a night. Dusty Questions are going to be probably random. These are not like scheduled live streams. For example, let me pull this up for you guys. Give you a little beatbox while you wait. I know how to keep my audience entertained, and don't ever say I don't. So this is actually what we were supposed to be doing today. Body trends versus self-love, can they coexist? And we were going to be talking about BBLs, which have recently gone out of style, as is being reported by a lot of news outlets. And we were going to talk about surgery in general and the idea of being able to get cosmetic surgery, and can that coexist with self-love? And is it... Can you be loving yourself if you're altering your body? And does that mean, where do we draw the line? Like, altering your body could be something like working out. Altering your body, even if it is cosmetic surgery, could be something like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Elephant Man. We had a man kind of like that in my hometown. And he got, I don't know what the name of the procedure is, but he got procedure to make his face less like bloated and blown up. If you guys can imagine what I'm talking about, Elephant Man, and make his face look more normal. Normal's not the right word because people with disabilities are normal, but to make it look more conventionally regular as we generally think of faces. Um, is that self-love? Shouldn't he just let his body be, assuming it's not hurting his face or causing adverse health effect? So that's what the discussion was going to be today. But the woman who I wanted to come on and co-host was not able to, and I wasn't able to do enough research. And what I realized generally when it comes to the more in-depth live streams is that I don't have time to research them how I want to. So what I wanted to do, as I said months ago when I started my channel, is release a video essay, probably once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then have a live stream later in the week after everyone has had time to review the video essay and discuss it. So in this case, I will be making a video about body trends versus self-love, including the BBL. And then after y'all watch that, I don't know, 10-15 minute video, we can discuss it further on the weekend where my ideas can be challenged, like how they were today on abortion and how much say so a man should have. Well, I didn't even say a man should have say so. First of all, y'all not about to gaslight me. I said I would like big decisions to be communicated with me in the marriage. I don't want control over them. I just want communication. But yeah, I'm not gonna let y'all gaslight, and I'm not gonna give that up. I won't. But the idea of you guys coming up to challenge the ideas I have about body trends, because I think you guys are gonna disagree with me on this specifically. In the woman coming up, I think had a BBL, not because society is pressuring her to look a certain way, not because she doesn't love her body, but because that's just the type of body shape she wants, and she wanted a cosmetic surgery to do it. Does that mean she doesn't love herself? She doesn't think so. I don't think so. So maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you can't have a BBL and love your, I don't know. So that's where the channel will be moving forward. Hopefully one video essay in the beginning of the week, a live stream on Sunday, no movie reviews. But I'll tell y'all what, if y'all are in the Discord, let me drop the public link. I'll do that. The public link is Dusty, where Dusty people reside. So I feel comfortable dropping that at least. That is in the chat now. If any of you would like to join my Discord where we discuss TV shows and movies, maybe we could do a Discord call weekly where we discuss the movies and stuff. Or if someone else is interested, I'm about to reach 500 subscribers, which means I'll be able to make community posts. Once I do, I'm just going to be posting other people's channel when they do video. True Mystique, where is True Mystique? Is True Mystique? Why doesn't True Mystique do the video reviews? I would love that. Where we all go over to True Mystique's channel, and that way we can still have within the community watching movies and TV shows and reviewing them and discussing them. But I won't have to do the work because I have other work to do. And I'm sitting here researching for Sandman review for 3 hours this morning and like, wait, what? Anyone may comment. I think that's all. That's all I have.
I'm gonna miss them TV reviews, but okay, I see where you're coming from.
You what?
I said I will miss the TV reviews, but I see where you're coming from. If it's not something that you want to do, I'm here for it. And I do like the idea of watching a essay video and then later discussing it because it does give us time to, put our own points together and research on it to have the discussion. So I'm here for it.
I don't want to give up TV reviews and movie reviews. I just want another channel to do them, because if another channel don't, then I will have to be researching for a video essay, then also doing a live video, which has been taking up hours lately. Then I'll also have to do the actual review. Wait, no, yeah, the movie. Like I'll have like 3 or 4 days where I'm doing work. Whereas if someone else does it, they can do the work for that day, and I'll have a day freed up where I can participate and go over there and be Dusty. But I am able to focus more on the video essays I want to do.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you should do what you want, but I really liked your Love, Death, Robots review. I also don't think it's necessary to do a ton of research just to talk about a TV show that you enjoy, honestly.
When I
Yeah.
when I reviewed Nope, everybody got mad at me because they were like, "You're missing the spiritual, the religious connections, the deeper meaning." And I was like, "What deeper meaning? This movie was lame."
That's why
But
you have
that's Jordan.
so it
I
can just
don't.
be
That's
a
Jordan Peele.
report.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just saying that happens with every Jordan Peele movie, though, honestly. Like every single one you say, like, oh, I think this is, and they're like, you didn't catch the deeper meaning. So I think that's to be expected.
Um, if I'm going to do the review and I don't have to research a lot for it, um, that's fine. Y'all can come up with the research and present the ideas, and I can just drag these lame ass shows. Sandman was good. I like Sandman. I'm not gonna drag, but the other ones. Maybe it's because I'm doing research for shows that I don't like. Like Sandman, I've enjoyed looking at the deeper meaning behind things.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm trying to find the
No.
comics. I'm
Huh?
trying to find the comics for Sandman. I'm on a mission because I think they're based on comics. Like the Endless, the whole thing. I didn't know about it. And now I gotta go find the comics or books so I can know what's coming.
Okay. Oh, they're having a season. Are they having a season 2? Anyway, my bad. Let's not
Yes.
get too stuck on that. If
Wait,
anybody
did
else,
you do the Endless on this channel?
hmm?
Did you do the Endless review on this channel?
No, I don't think I've
Oh,
watched Endless.
okay, no, because I love that movie, so I was gonna have to catch that.
No, because the Sandman series is based on the DC comics with about the Endless. Let's have an Endless Dream, Death,
Oh, that,
Despair, Delusion, Delirium, Destruction, and Desire. Did I miss one? Destiny.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I ain't never heard of that. I do know it's a DC thing, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
no,
that
I
was
didn't hear. I got it. I misheard. Sorry.
Also, if you, well, I'll be sad if we don't have too many. I'm fine if we don't have the TV or movie reviews. That's fine. Or if they're just kind of few and far between, that's fine too. But you can always just choose what you want to watch instead of taking the suggestions from all of us.
It's supposed to be I don't watch TV or movies generally, so anything you recommend, I probably will not have seen. I will be seeing it for the
Oh,
first
okay.
time. So, the Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, haven't seen it. Friday, haven't seen it. I literally have not seen anything outside of SpongeBob when I was little. I have not watched TV and movies as an adult. So I don't have anything to recommend because I don't watch TV.
That's understandable. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, but every once in a while I'll turn on the TV. And
That's a lie. That's a lie. I have something to recommend. I have something to recommend. Let me put it on the screen now. What
is
is
it
this?
the didgeridoo?
Oh no. I was looking up some other stuff today regarding the didgeridoo, but no, not that. Undone on Amazon Prime. I'm also looking into watch parties. I feel like watch party would be better. If a watch party is something like this, um, maybe I could do it on StreamYard since you can have 10 people on StreamYard and I can just stream. Is that legal? Never mind. Never mind. Um, yeah, that's a Discord conversation. But
As long as we still
Amazon,
get memes, I'm happy.
the memes will come. Did you guys see my my meme today?
Yes.
Was it about the guy asking how his day was?
Yes, it
Because
was.
yes.
Undone is good. Undone was amazing. There are a few shows that I feel like are amazing. This is one of them, and I would recommend it. But generally, I'm going to go to the Discord and do a. Now that I have a community tab, I'm just going to do a vote so the audience can decide. Because outside of my very limited scope of shows that I've already watched, I don't generally. Oh, I've heard Blackish. Issa Rae, is it Blackish? Is that not Blackish? Is that what it's called?
No, rat. It's called
Insecure.
rat.
Yeah. Insecure.
Oh, Insecure. Yeah. What is Blackish? Oh, I don't like Blackish. Nah, never mind.
Well,
But
Blackish is a comedy by Kenya Barris
yeah, I
by
don't.
ABC.
I reviewed some of that. I reviewed a scene in particular on my channel. I didn't like it based on the one scene I saw. But I hear that Issa Rae writes Black women and men very good, and she writes very compelling story. And that she's generally liked by the Black community for her portrayal of people. So I've seen some clips of it. Undone, obviously, I've watched. Love, Death, Robots, I've watched. Outside of that, I don't generally have much. So
Wait, you've never seen Insecure? No, I mean that's not crazy. It's an HBO exclusive, but it's pretty good. Like I love it.
Insecure, HBO exclusive. That ain't gonna stop me. You think that's gonna stop me? Oh, I was trying to give a theme as the HBO thing yesterday. I think he bought it now. It's fine. It's fine. Sure, we can all just pay for things. Why, I don't know. So this, yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet. I don't like episode, but generally I'm trying to do stuff that's short. So like, some people recommending Twilight Zone. We probably not going to do that for a while because there are a lot of. Are we going to do it by season? That means I have to now commit to like several seasons worth of watching something, and then that may be like a 3-week endeavor that we split up into 3 live streams before we can get to another movie. And as we saw last week, when we did Lovecraft instead of Sandman, like I wanted to, maybe during these 3 weeks of watching Twilight, something gonna come out that we no longer want to do Twilight. We want to do Sandman, but now that would be an interruption, and I already don't know. But we can talk about it in the Discord, guys.
I was about to say, if you did do some of the Twilight Zone, you don't have to do the whole season. You can just pick a few episodes here and there and like ask people what their favorite episodes are and just maybe pick 2 or 3.
Well, why not do?
But Black Mirror is better, so I mean.
You should do Black Mirror.
I wouldn't
mind. Black Mirror is way better.
It was really good. Like everybody's already. Maybe I should do stuff everybody's already watched, and then that way there's not a lot of research I have to do for Black Mirror aside from maybe rewatching it. Like I did a lot of like the show. I think Kenny said it, but the shows which I really enjoyed, and actually without having to do a live review, go out and seek further information and clarification and research and analysis and discussion because I'm genuinely interested in the show. Maybe those are the ones we could do first. If these folks don't strong arm me into, let me see what these folks are saying in the Discord. These folks talking about Sandman, of course, y'all better be watching it. Black Phone, Married to Medicine, House of Dragons. Just can I watch House of Dragons without having watched Game of Thrones?
Yes, I believe you can. You don't, unless you'll miss some of the little nuggets, but I think you can.
Nuggets. Let me see. Let me see how long Game of Thrones is, real quick.
It's like 8 seasons.
So
season 8. You don't have to watch season 8 though. So yeah,
like 80 episodes.
8 was terrible. But I honestly, with Games of Thrones, I could only get through the first season and then I got over it, which I feel like maybe I'm just stupid because I wasn't into it.
Game of Thrones has 73 episodes. Are these hour long, 30 minutes?
Yeah, they're hour long episodes.
80 hours? This a full 2 work week. What the hell? Y'all watch? Somebody told me to watch Dragon Ball. Oh, I think he was talking about London was talking about the movie. I thought he was saying watch Dragon Ball. You think I'm finna watch 400 episodes? Who do y'all think I am? Watch One Piece. It's amazing. Let's do a review next week. Next week? What?
One Piece
if you're gonna do something like One Piece, you gotta just read it. Reading it is way faster than I've never been able to watch One Piece because it takes.
I've still hasn't finished season 1 of One Piece, and I'm not going to watch over 1,000 episodes of a show. Anime. I'm sorry, that was just it.
It's too late.
But in the time that they like, there's 30 minutes in an episode. In that time, you could have read literally like 15 chapters and been past the first episode. That's why I always say you should just read it.
I don't like it.
I don't want to read it. Well, if I read it, it's free. Oh wait, you can watch
I
TV.
respect that.
Huh?
No, I said I respect that. It's still 1,000 chapters.
Like, oh, don't watch the 1,000 episodes. That's incredibly stupid. Read the 1,000. What? What? The chapters are faster. You see. Well, maybe this is different for you guys because I'm illiterate. So, yeah, maybe that's it. Let me do. Oh, look at y'all joining the Discord.
Yeah, I joined.
My Discord is acting up. What is going on? Okay, there we go. So with that being said, does anyone else have any questions, concerns, comments? Going once. You're a little quiet, Jamil. You good?
No, yeah, I'm here. No, I have no questions, comments, or concerns.
Do you have smoke with me now that I'm not going to do my Dusty live streams as much?
Nah, man, do whatever you want to do. You know, I'm just here to support a black man.
Y'all gonna curse me out when I end the live? Okay, I understand. Cantor?
No, I enjoy just all of the crazy that comes on this channel, so I'm good.
I'm tired. Not today. Well, today, but just generally, I'm tired. I'm too tired. Let me quit my job today. Maybe if I quit, they'll give me a raise to come back. I hear that happen sometimes. I'm trying to pull this up without putting anyone's personal info on the screen. Let me see if I can pull this up. And this is how I would like to end the live stream. Of course, sounds like a good time. Y'all like my intro? My new intro? Be honest. No? Okay, that's fine.
I love it.
It's fine. You don't have to lie. Yeah, it's fine.
No, I actually think the bars here are pretty good.
I asked him to make me a full song. It's Dig Bar on TikTok. Well, I asked for rights to just that clip. It's free use right now, but I wanted to pay him for the rights so nobody else can use it without me making money, of course. I wanted to end on
You know, but you come to the rescue, didn't you?
Don't feel good.
You don't feel good? Here, I get ready. The fuck is it? Kristen, is that shit?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, god damn, Kristen! Damn! Here, finish, wipe your ass. The fuck? Kristen, this really shit.
Yes.
I'm scared. Oh, god damn, I'm scared to smell it.
Just smell it.
I don't want to smell it.
You just kind of push it in neutral.
The sense of this.
that just seems so wholesome to me. I know it's like very disgusting. Somebody, I hope that was chocolate or something. He didn't smell it, so we never find out. But that just seems so wholesome. His reaction, he was like, he was cursing, but he cared for the child. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a softie. Could be. It's like that was the most loving and sweetest cursing anybody could get. Based on how my grandparents would do me, I feel like he was being. It's like he was still in grandpa mode, even with the curse words. Like just patient, kind. Like so much patience, because like I promise y'all, look, he was calm with the cursing words, like it sounded polite. I promise y'all, it would not be me. It would not be me. Went all the
Chica
way
is
like he
cutting
put
up
her.
in the chat again.
Let me see what's going on in the chat. Ill you.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm unsubscribing.
huh?
I said I'm unsubscribing.
I can see my subscribers. You're not currently subscribed, Kenny. I can see who's
Yes, I
subscribed.
am. No, I'm definitely. Wait, let me check.
That was love. He was not popping off how he wanted. Look, if somebody put shit on me, I don't care if we related. I don't care if you a child. You a grown man now, because you making grown man decisions. He said that's why you get the okay. With that being said, anyone may comment on that if they want.
I'm definitely subscribed, so I can unsubscribe.
You subscribe now. Now that I said that, you went
No,
in.
I was already. I got notifications for this. Shut up.
I'll leave you guys with this. Let me put it this way: I've never played from this side before. This is a piece. This is definitely a piece. I like to call it wheel wheel wheel. That's all I'm gonna give you guys because I have neighbors and it's very late here.
Was it a piece or a majority? Because I'm confused.
It was a majority, not a piece. Not a piece. And let me. Okay, I did not know you was gonna say that. I was not expecting that at all. Damn, I forgot. I didn't lost my train. I don't even know what I was finna say. What was I finna say? Oh, well, yep, no, it's gone.
Where did you even get that from? Like,
I
that's so
bought it when
random.
my friends and I were learning how to play instruments. I learned how to play the didgeridoo and the accordion, and my other friends learned how to play the didgeridoo, and one of them learned the accordion too, and one of them learned the harp too, and then one of them has what is it called, bagpipes too. But we don't use bagpipes for the purposes of
So
the
we had
didgeridoo.
bagpipers at my high school, like because their sister school was in Scotland. So some of the students in our band actually did learn to play the bagpipes, which was a little odd, but okay.
Bagpipes at the high school. What type of high speed children? But yeah, me and the didgeridoos, we definitely do play some of the music of all time. Just like the piece I just played was one of the pieces of all time. Definitely one of the pieces of all time. And I will leave you guys with that. Tomorrow, 12, maybe 12 Eastern or 1 Eastern, sometime afternoon tomorrow, I'll set a Q&A. And we can have a Q&A, guys, before I devolve back into trolling forever. And anyone who missed that Q&A will just have to miss it.
I'm gonna miss it. I'll be sleeping. It'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning here.
You better wake up out of your sleep. Wake up.
Yeah, school starts tomorrow here in New York.
Sorry.
Huh?
I was like, I'm not getting up my sleep to ask Dusty. Okay.
Out of your
Are you going to be giving us real answers, or are they going to just be trolling answers to these questions?
I'm gonna give y'all some real answers.
Okay, maybe I'll watch from class.
From class on a
School starts in New York tomorrow.
On a Sunday?
Well, because my schedule starts with Sunday, yeah.
What kind of school?
University.
It's college, yeah. It starts on Sunday.
Y'all, why?
I asked the same question, but I picked the class, so like I start tomorrow.
Wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep, wake up out of your sleep, wake up, I command you in the name of Jesus, wake up out of your sleep,
I like how when a man of God was speaking, everyone else just fell silent. You can really feel the presence he commands in the room, to the point where even us who were not in the room physically with him, immediately we fell silent to his word. This look, double majored.
No.
Exam on the. I have no idea what niggatry this is. The way I was thinking about going back to college, and then y'all told me today y'all have homework on a Saturday, a test on a Sunday, school starts Sunday morning at 3 a.m. I have no idea why anyone would do this to themselves. Oh, you know what? Student loan forgiveness now. I'm going. Yep, I'll do it in the Potter House. Other than that, I will not prolong the end of this live stream any longer. If anybody would like 30 seconds, they may take it. You will unfortunately have to speak as I play, but anyone may take the 30 seconds. Going once.
I'll just say I meant to respond to your question. I was just saying that I do. I don't think people are always on liquid courage when they're on alcohol.
You stopped.
Because you were into
All right. That was a whole piece, a majority. With that being said, thank you, everyone who joined the show. My name is Prince Petty, and this has been Man with a Mic. Good night.